Dari, thanks. They've been playing football in this site since 1921. And on this great stadium by the banks of the Tennessee River, the Volunteers are ready to take the field again. The fans have filed into Neyland Stadium with expectations sky high here in Knoxville. Why? Because Josh Heupel brought a brand new brand of football to town. They rolled through their schedule last year, putting points on just about everybody. And the thought is that Tennessee could be even better offensively. Heupel's at the helm, and his quarterback now steps into the season as a starter. The colorful Hendon Hooker is one of the most efficient quarterbacks in all of college football last year. And if he can replicate those numbers, they will be in great shape once again. And with that, we welcome you to SEC opening night. This is Neyland Stadium in Knoxville, Tennessee. The Ball State Cardinals in town looking for their first ever win against an SEC foe, and the Tennessee fans waiting for the tee to be formed and their team to take the field. This is just the start of a very busy weekend in the SEC. We got a double dip for you. Our crew will head from Knoxville down to Tuscaloosa to see the reigning Heisman Trophy winner and maybe the best defensive player in all of college football for a night game on Saturday night. Elsewhere, Oregon, Georgia, Florida State, LSU, Cincinnati, Arkansas, Utah, Florida, and here in Knoxville, the Volunteers. It is one of the greatest traditions in all of sports and a hallmark of this program here in East Tennessee. The power tee on the field and the Volunteers coming through. With that, we welcome inside Neyland Stadium. Up in the press box, Tom Hart alongside Jordan Rogers, Cole Kubelik down in the field. I wasn't sure you were coming back. I'm really excited. You got married. You had a busy offseason.
I did. You know, they said Tom's going to be your partner again. I said, really? Thought about it, but here we are.
I don't blame you. Hey, listen, Josh Heupel's got a returning starting quarterback, so that's good news for him. It feels like a good marriage between those two. A lefty who could sling it, and now he's got Hendon Hooker getting his first start on opening night.
Yeah, look, second year for a quarterback in any system, you usually take a big leap. Now, I want to talk real quick about the exception versus the rule. When it comes to quarterback play, the rule is the more efficient you are, usually the less explosive you are, and vice versa. Hendon Hooker is the exception to the rule. He's the second most efficient quarterback in the Power 5 and also the fourth in yards per attempt, which means he's pushing it downfield and he's being efficient. That's a rare combination.
Well, the offensive numbers were off the chart for Tennessee last year. The defensive numbers left a little something to be desired. For more on that, here's Cole down in the field.
Yeah, 99th in total defense a season ago, Tom. Obviously, Tim Banks wants that to improve, as does Josh Heupel. This program, these fans used to seeing top-end caliber defensive players. 20 defensive players selected in the first round in the modern draft era from this Tennessee football program. Haven't had one since 2017 in Derek Barnett. Is there a game wrecker, a takeover player on defense that can emerge for the Vols this year? It's one thing I'm going to be watching for tonight. Tyler Baron, Jeremy Banks, who could be that dude for this Tennessee football team?
Boy, they had some dudes back in the day, Cole, from Reggie White to Al Wilson, who's part of the national championship team, the heart and soul of it on the defensive end, and more recently, Eric Berry, who was knocking people's heads off. If they can find somebody like that, because, Jordan, we know they have playmakers on the offensive side.
Yeah, look, if their defense, they don't have to be top 5 in the SEC. If they can just improve a little bit with how good this offense is, the sky is the limit for this Tennessee team. They're going to have a good test tonight in Ball State. Talented quarterback, receivers on the outside with experience. It's gonna be a good test for Tennessee week 1.
Ball State won the toss. The Cardinals have elected to receive, and they will put a fourth-year junior quarterback out in the field for his first ever start. Good crowd on hand here at Neyland, and they are getting fired up for football time in Tennessee. Braxton Brooks ready to get us started. Josh Heupel's squad anxious with his night kick to begin their season for Ball State. Back-to-back seasons ending in bowls, MAC champs 2 years ago. A.J. Uzodinma will return for the Cardinals. Welcome back to Knoxville. Welcome back to college football. Uzodinma has it to the 20 and a few more. And that's where John Paddock will get things started. Very little experience in the quarterback department for this Ball State team. They were replacing a 3-year starter in Drew Plitt. And it is John Paddock at 5'11", less than 200 who gets the call. Yeah, not a lot of experience, but these coaches, Mike New and offensive coordinator Kevin Lynch, been here a long time. They said he will be the most talented passer we have had, period. Since we've been here, they expect him to be one of the best in the MAC this year, and he'll give this Tennessee defense as much as he can for 4 quarters. They'll operate out of the shotgun. He's got his running back Carson Steele. And they're going to reverse on the first play, and a flea flicker. They get intercepted! Picked up by Tennessee. Tamarian McDonald with a takeaway for the Vols. How's that for defense? Well, before the fans have even settled into their seats, Mike New wanted to take a chance, and it backfired on Ball State. Well, it's always the question in game preparation. You start with the razzle-dazzle trick play. Do you keep it simple? Brand new quarterback went for a double reverse pass, and Aaron Beasley, linebacker for Tennessee, filling in for Juwan Mitchell, lit that up, read it the entire way, and gives Tennessee great field position. So here's Hendon Hooker, 5th-year senior out of Greensboro, North Carolina. And he delivers the outside of the flag on the play inside the 10 to Jalen Hyatt. He'll stretch it over the goal line. If it stands, it's a 23-yard touchdown. And that's a big if. It will stand. Josh Heupel's got the crowd on its feet here early on. A pick and a pass and touchdown Tennessee.
Personal foul, hands to the face, defense number 6. The touchdown is good. The 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
Steve Marlowe, our white hat. Didn't take much time, did it? Chase McGrath for the point after. And he fits it through. Volunteers need less than a half a minute to get on the board. That's a way to start, huh? All those hours of off-season training, the hot, the sweat, amount of time you put in, and hey, a couple seconds, 7 points on the board. It really started with the double reverse here. And watch Aaron Beasley, Mike linebacker, working off the edge, working through a block here to get to John Paddock. And that forced the errant pass, and then coming back the other way, a conversation we're going to have about who can stand up on the outside as you see the interception one more time for Tennessee. Who's the number 2 receiver going to be? Jalen Hyatt making a strong case for it to start this game. As you see a play action pass by Hendon Hooker here. It's going to be a wheel route on the outside by Hyatt. A wheel stop they call it. Coverage was over the top. Made a great move to get in the end zone. Talking with offensive coordinator Alex Golesh about how they script their plays, and he said there's a few things will get you off script. A pick on the very first play will definitely lead to that. Yeah, he said usually we script a couple 5-play drives, but on a change of possession right there, you go to your best play. Little wheel stop on the outside, get the attention on Cedric Tillman, and Jalen Hyatt sneaks into the open field for a touchdown. Penalty enforced after the extra point, so the Volunteers will kick from midfield. From the 10. And great kickoff coverage, taking down Nick Jones. All right, so if you're John Paddock, Take us into his mind right now.
I mean, honestly, you almost just, I don't want to say laugh because you're not taking it serious, but it couldn't have gone worse. So you got to do everything you can. Just forget about it. Move on. Having a short memory right now is the best thing you can do. And I'm sure Kevin Lynch, the offensive coordinator, said just that. Keep firing. Don't let it affect you. And I bet a nice, easy throw or a run play to get him going on this drive early.
Carson Steele, his tailback, ran for 891 yards last year as a freshman. They're going to throw it again, and this one to the outside, and that's Ja'Shawn Jackson.
I love that. Nice, easy throw. Don't wait, right? As a quarterback, you hand it off, and then you get a little more nervous about that next throw. No. Just threw a pick, opening drive, Neyland Stadium, 100,000 people, who cares? Hit a nice little hitch. Let's get back in rhythm.
Paddock was a two-time All-State performer, Bloomfield Hills High School in Michigan. Faces a four-man rush and is able to check down and find his tight end, and that will go for a Ball State first down. Brady Hunt. Ball State offense last year under Mike New, who's been a part of their MAC championship games, both as a player, as a coach. Had an all-conference quarterback, some great receivers, and an offensive line that they're looking to replace. Here's Steele with his first touch, and he finds maybe two. Beasley with the stop.
Yeah, look, this is a pro-style system, right? Mike New, head coach for Ball State, came from the New Orleans Saints. He was an assistant there, then a quarterback coach as well. So they're going to use a lot of formations, a couple tight ends, try to give you a bunch of different looks. But at its core, it's a pro-style system. You're going to see here, John Paddock under center. Bunch to the right, two tight ends in the game.
They love their tight ends. They'll play four of them tonight. And it's spin free for Carson Steele, and he gets a couple more. A couple of real issues for Tennessee defensively. One in the red zone, another one on third down. This is their first third down test tonight.
Yeah, this Tennessee defense has got to figure out how to get pressure on the quarterback without bringing pressure, without bringing a blitz, and a lot of that's going to be on Byron Young. Super talented defensive end. He plays the Leo position for this Tennessee defense, and he's got to turn into a sack monster and a force off the edge. He's got the talent to do so. See what he does here on third and long.
5.5 sacks for him last year. Four-man rush. Quick to the outside. Good for a Ball State first down. Johannes Tyler, who now has his 27th consecutive game with a reception. That's top 10 in the country.
I tell you what, just a stop route on the outside. It's called a sticks route. Get a yard or two past the sticks, turn, and that quarterback has got to put it on the outside shoulder, as you see Paddock does there. He's already rebounded really well from that early interception. A couple really accurate passes to get him back in rhythm and pick up a first down.
Tried to go with the reverse flea flicker on the first play. Turned into a Tennessee interception. This is Will Jones, who gets his first test, and he's met by a host of orange jerseys, Cole.
But I tell you what, you talk about a defensive end setting the edge, sometimes just setting the tone. Watch Byron Young, 6 here, coming off the left edge, taking on 53. Just blow him up in the backfield. Obviously going to allow more orange jerseys to be able to get on the perimeter and make that stop.
You know we're back in the season when we're getting Cole's sound effects 4 or 5 minutes in. I love it. Here's Steele straight ahead. He is a physical runner, and he's met by Trayvon Flowers after pickup of 3. Another third down test for Tennessee.
Keep an eye on Tyler Barron. Had him lined up down inside over the right guard last time, trying to generate a little bit more pass rush on third down.
A long ways away from third down for what? Balls bring pressure from the edge. Paddock stands tall and he delivers to the perimeter. Tyler again. And he is folded up inside the 40, gain of 14.
Well, I tell you what, really impressed early here by John Paddock. Trying to push the ball downfield on that one. Coverage was over the top, so check it down to your receiver sitting wide open in the flats. Pick up yet another first down. Tennessee's got to bow up here. We got to see a little more pressure. They're getting in and around John Paddock, but got to get some contact on the quarterback here for this front four from Tennessee.
action again, and he tried to sling it out, nearly intercepted one more time. Great hands on the edge from Josephs.
He's trying to get the ball out quick. You see Paddock here with his sidearm trying to get it around the defender. That one almost went the other way as well.
So after their first drive lasted just one play, this will be the 10th play of the second possession for Ball State. Incomplete. Trying to find Tyler. What makes a defense good or bad on third down?
Well, it's the ability to get pressure on the quarterback without blitzing, right? If you have a good quarterback, an experienced quarterback, you blitz him, he's going to know where to go with the football, distribute it, and make you pay. So Tennessee here probably going to play coverage, play tight up on the receivers and see if they can't get pressure with that front four. Tyler Barron, number 9, Byron Young. Young right down here.
Empty backfield for Paddock. Incomplete. No flag. Trying to find Ja'Shawn Jackson.
Deep slant here. You see Kamal Haddon on the outside, working on Ja'Shawn Jackson. A great job of not getting that trail hand around the waist. Easy for a DB on a slant right here to get that trail hand and pull them. He didn't do it that time, got his hand to break it up. Ball State going for it on 4.
They need 10 to keep the drive alive. Here comes pressure up the middle. Man coverage outside and couldn't get it to Tyler. Haddon had the coverage again. Tennessee needed just 9 seconds to score one play on their first touch of the game, and on SEC opening night they'll get the ball again. Tennessee early on riding high on Rocky Top. There was no one better in the country last year in first quarter scoring than the Tennessee Volunteers. Josh Heupel's squads have always gotten off to quick starts. Georgia was second best, nearly 11, but 14.5 points in the first quarter. That's playing with house money.
Yeah. Staple of this offense, tempo and spacing. The tempo there at the top of your screen.
Hooker over the middle, complete for a Tennessee first down to Cedric Tillman, who is every bit of 6'3", 215.
Tell you what, we got to sit down with him. He walked in at first, and I see these guys with helmets on. He walks in like, oh, is this a defensive end? I mean, he's huge.
And he's got elite speed. Here's Jabari Small with his first try, and he rips off a first down run. Tennessee going tempo. Small again. All-State a little more prepared that time after his long run. A pickup of 4. Kyle King the stop. Hooker looked right, came back left, and come back caught by Brew McCoy, the USC transfer who's had a wild ride to get here. Just ruled eligible a week and a half ago. Not only got the start, but he gets used here on this first true drive for Tennessee. Small, bottled up.
That's going to be fun to see how they use Brew McCoy. I've already seen Jalen Hyatt. I mentioned that number 2 receiver spot's going to be so important. Cedric Tillman, one of the best in the entire country, let alone the SEC. Got to have somebody compliment him on the other side of the field.
Jabari Small again. Well, Josh Heupel and his offensive coordinator, Alex Golesh, not wasting any time and turning up the tempo as expected. Small needs a breather. That'll have to wait. And Princeton Fant couldn't squeeze it. Tennessee fails on a third down attempt. And that'll bring on the kicking team.
That's a really good job by Ball State there a few times. Tennessee wants to try to get those receivers really wide, vacate the box, get your safeties wide, try to run up in between. But that defensive front for Ball State, really stiff, really strong on 2 straight plays. It's a big stop.
34-yard attempt for Chase McGrath. He's another USC transfer. Make it 33. And he punches it through to give Tennessee a 10-0 lead. All right, we got a busy weekend in the SEC, and right here on the SEC Network, expectations are high for Jimbo Fisher's squad in Aggieland, and they get the Bearcats of Sam Houston noon on the SEC Network. Troy and Ole Miss in the midday game, and we got 3 in prime time on SEC Network Plus. Mercer at Auburn, Miami, Ohio against Kentucky, and Vanderbilt, the winningest team in the league so far this year. And we'll be in Tuscaloosa for Utah State and Alabama. Well, Mike New in his 7th season as a head coach at Ball State. This is not his first time in this building. He came here with former Tennessee quarterback Andy Kelly when he was coaching him in arena ball during Peyton's final season. They came here for the Ole Miss game, and he said, I imagine the atmosphere is going to be pretty good, just like it was then. Paxton Brooks to kick off. Nick Jones will not have a chance at a return. You mentioned the pro-style offense. He picked up a lot of that working with the Saints, and it was a few years as the Saints quarterback coach. He had been in town with Tulane as well and working with the New Orleans Voodoo, their arena team. Mickey Loomis, the GM, Sean Payton, the head coach, and of course you work with a guy like Drew Brees. You learn a lot about the game even though you're supposed to be his coach. Yeah, Drew Brees and Sean Payton. You know, Mike New was talking about, man, how do I sit here as a first-time quarterback coach at this level and I'm telling Drew Brees how to install a basic pro-style play, and he's taking notes, being very respectful when Drew Brees very well could have ran circles around him. Pretty cool story. He's got a great background. And after 2 straight bowl games, he's got this Ball State team headed in the right direction. He was the MAC Offensive Player of the Year in '93 and helped Ball State to a MAC championship, and then they went back and won it 2 years ago. There's Steele again. I told Mike New before the game, I don't know if Carson Steele is more Thor or Fabio, but he's got all the measurables. Yeah, I can't believe it's not butter. Spray. The way he runs is so smooth, you know. Play action. Paddock looking for Steele, and here he is to the 30. And he gets stuck there, leaving second and short. All right, so Carson Steele is 6'1", 215. Cole, what do you think of his weightlifting record so far?
Pretty impressive. I mean, especially for a guy that size to be able to put up some of the weight that he does. But when you hear the coaches talk about him, he sounds like a kid that's just lived in the weight room and lived on the practice field since he was probably 8 years old. So the stature in which he does it, surprising. The mentality, maybe not so much.
He's got one thing in common with Cole. He's got a pet alligator, just like Cole did back in his college days. Stop behind the line on 3rd and short. No gain. Jalen McCullough filled in for the stop. Boy, Jalen McCullough comes off the edge. You're going to see him come out from off the screen like a bullet here. Reads the play diagnosis. Sneak. But Tennessee wanted to get a timeout. So Ball State uses a timeout. Excuse me, they pointed the wrong direction. Tennessee with a timeout, identifying the fact that they were going to go for it. All right, walk me through Mike New's decisions here early on. They go with the reverse flea flicker. Then in Tennessee territory, trying to catch Tennessee off guard and go for it on 4th and 1. Yeah, you're playing with house money, right? I love it. Be aggressive. Let your kids get out there. Show you have some confidence in them. Look, is it the most sound strategy? Not always, but you're a big underdog here. It couldn't have gone worse to start. It's only 10-0. Got a big defensive stop, so I love being aggressive, trying to catch Tennessee's defense off guard, backed up in your own territory. Just, hey, next time I'm on the telly, just smack me in the head when they're going for it on 4th. I'm over here trying to draw something up, and they're trying to QB sneak. No, I can't. JoJo would have me. She'd have my head on a platter if I raise my hand. They're going to bring the offense back out. Now, this is surprising because it's not catching them off guard now.
QB sneak again. Most underrated play in all of football. I'd run it back. Give a hard count and then quarterback sneak again. Find that B gap if you can.
Can't find it. Got to push from behind and still stopped him short. Jeremy Banks and the Tennessee defense with a big stop on 4th down.
Greatest play ever, but as a quarterback, sometimes you got to find the gap. Tennessee's going to walk a guy up right over the center. As a quarterback, you're with a guy standing right over the top. You try to slide and find this gap right here. You're going to see it open up at the last minute.
Biggest thing I saw, Jordan, is he put his eyes down as soon as he took the snap. Couldn't see anything.
Well, it was a historic year for Tennessee offense last year. The most difficult part is really the scheme. As a defensive coordinator, you got to decide, do you play one high or two high? Playing one high, you got to account for Hendon Hooker being a runner, get 7-on-7 in the box, but then you leave a one-on-one matchup somewhere. And oh, by the way, that's Cedric Tillman, one of the best receivers in the entire country, is going to win those one-on-one matchups. So, hey, with those splits, you go too high. Get help over the top of those receivers, but now you have a light box. Tennessee has the advantage. Run up the middle, nobody there to make a tackle. You really don't have a great option. You got to play fundamentally sound, but in one way or another, this Tennessee offense is going to find the numbers and attack you on the ground or through the air where they have the advantage.
So where can they get better?
I think efficiency on those deep throws. Hendon's been so dangerous and so efficient, but I will say he could be a little more accurate. Missed a few last year. Missed one right there. Talked to him a lot about his mechanics. Got a little wide with his footwork at times. His back foot wasn't under him. When you do that, you start to lean with your upper body to try to generate velocity. That's when you miss high or low, like you saw right there.
He did not get the start on opening night last year. Here's Jabari Small again. That went to Joe Milton, the Michigan transfer. They're now roommates and they're good friends. But Josh Heupel admitted to us yesterday, he said, I'm not sure that we had a great feel for what Hendon was as a playmaker and a competitor and a gamer. It showed up in the game. Stop after a gain of just 1 on 3rd down.
Well, you think about it, quarterbacks got red jerseys on the entire offseason. So you know a guy's athletic, but you don't know, oh, would he have broken that tackle? Would he really got away from that defender until the lights are on and it's a different color jersey on the other side.
They're going to go for it on 4th and 6. And a little bit of movement brought early contact, and that'll make it 4th and 1. For all the tempo that Tennessee runs, they still like to shift. They still like to motion, and they usually do it after in a dead ball situation.
Yeah, with the background of offensive coordinator Alex Galesh, Iowa State, a lot of tight ends, a lot of shifting, a lot of motioning to create an advantage, and he's blended that very well with the high-octane tempo of Josh Heupel.
Neutral zone infraction defense, number 36. In the neutral zone, causing the offense to react. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
It's a little gamesmanship here. A quick move by the tight end. Trying to get a jump.
Watch 76. Play through the echo of the whistle, my friend. Go get him, big boy.
All right, what do you like on 4th and 1?
Jabari Small gained 12, 13 pounds in the offseason. He's bigger, still as fast as he was. Trying to hand him the rock and let him run a few people over.
There he is, and there he goes. Nice move to the outside. And Small's got it after a pickup of 10 when he needed 1 for a fresh set of downs. And here's the tempo for Tennessee. Fastest in the country last year. 3 plays per minute. Into the end zone. It is hauled in out of bounds by Cedric Tillman.
A one-on-one matchup. He ends up making a great catch, but after his foot already went out of bounds, actually really good coverage by Nick Jones on the outside, getting a hand up there. Almost an unbelievable play.
Now 2nd and 10 for Tennessee. You go back to the outside. Tillman looking for a block. Got him by an ankle, and he picks up 8. He was talking to us yesterday that he kind of had to get talked into sticking around here in East Tennessee and thinking about transferring with the coaching change. He said, luckily I had people close to me promised me there was better things for me to come here in Knoxville.
He's got one-on-one coverage on the top.
End zone, incomplete. Trying to find Princeton Fant, and the flag.
Pass interference. Defense number 8. The foul occurred in the end zone. By rule, the ball will be placed at the 2-yard line. Automatic first down.
Down here at the bottom of your screen, DB's just going to get that arm wrapped around Princeton Fant as he's breaking in the middle.
So Small barrels his way to the goal line, and he's stopped inside the 1. Talking with Alex Golesh and Josh Heupel yesterday, one of the things they pointed out, you mentioned the extra weight that he put on. He's got to be able to handle the pounding. Golesh on the left side of that shot. Here's Hooker, got a blocker, and he's got 6. Touchdown Tennessee and Hendon Hooker. And that'll close an 8-play, 34-yard drive with the Volunteers' second touchdown of this first quarter. McGrath again. Tennessee ahead of pace, up 17-0 with 4:02 to play in the opening frame.
Used to love it as a quarterback. Your running back gets you all the way down to the 1, and hey, coach, let me take this 1 yard in for Hendon Hooker.
A touchdown theme.
Yeah.
Well, apparently the two most famous alumni at each of these schools know each other pretty well. There's Peyton and David Letterman in the David Letterman Equipment Shed there in Ball State. Break like a Letterman today? Yeah, sure, why not?
How about that beard?
It's looking better and better every day.
Peyton's hairline creeping up. David Letterman adding the hair down on the bottom.
Sheriff's watching tonight. All right, so in honor of the greatest late night host ever, let's do our own top 10 list. It's already been decided. It's not really that funny. It's the Associated Press top 10 here, week number 1. Number 10, Baylor. Number 9, Oklahoma, and on.
Oklahoma's an interesting one. Jeff Levy coming from Ole Miss. Dillon Gabriel at quarterback. Utah, huge matchup against Florida this weekend. A&M, biggest question mark in the SEC to me. And you know the rest of the top 5. A lot of drama this weekend, a lot to get sorted out. Ohio State, Notre Dame.
And number 1, Alabama will be in Tuscaloosa Saturday night. Utah State. Steele on the edge.
He just runs tough, man. Tell you what, it's like when you're at dinner and you order the mozzarella sticks and it shows up. It doesn't always look great, but man, it ends up being really good.
When's the last time you ate fried cheese?
What are you talking? Every chance I get. Saving up for winter. Summer's over, Tom.
2nd and 4. They get the screen against the Tennessee pressure. And Carson Steele is able to do some damage. He's got a pet alligator. Cole, what's his secret to harboring a pet alligator while you're in college?
One is keep that rubber band around his mouth when you're going to handle him, because I can speak from experience. When they latch on to a finger, they don't let go for a while. Number 2, make sure it stays fed and stays hydrated. Otherwise, it doesn't make it very long. I can also speak from experience from that.
You failed at raising your alligator?
He didn't like the mice I was giving him and didn't make it.
What?
3rd and 3. And it's batted away at the line of scrimmage. Abari Thomas at 6'4", 320 got his mitts on that one.
Well, John Paddock, the quarterback, listed at 6 foot, might be a hair under that with a sidearm release. Great job by Amari Thomas. When you can't get home and you can't get to the quarterback, get your hands up, locate his arm, try to get your hand on one, and he did just that. Tight end Tanner Koziel was wide open right behind him. So
they're going to keep the offense on the field again for fourth down.
That's the punt formation.
Pardon me, that's the punt.
Hey, it's week 1, you know.
Sorry.
I'm drawing the telly on a 4th down. You don't know punt team to quarterback.
I'm
offense,
so worried about Cole's alligator. Did you at least get a nice pair of boots out of him, Cole?
He wasn't big enough for that.
Wow.
Maybe a wallet?
Like a
belt?
fanny
Might
pack
have couldn't
would've
have
been
gotten a wallet, maybe.
How? I mean, was that a positive in getting girls back to the dorms, or like I don't know.
What was the motivation, Kublik?
Yeah, no, there were no girls coming to our dorms. Ben Thomas had that thing locked down at Sewell Hall. That was not taking place. But had a couple snakes before that. Went to the pet store, traded the snakes in, took the alligator. Couldn't believe he had one. Couldn't believe he was going to let me have it. So we gave it a run, and 6 months later, it was over.
All right, so we've been together 6 years, right? There are very few secrets among us anymore. And when Cole offered the fact that he had a pet alligator in college, we all fell out of our chairs.
It's just not something you offer up early in conversations, or maybe even the first 6 years of knowing somebody.
The first thing I tell people.
That's right. Hi, I'm Cole Kublik. I used to have a pet alligator.
Named Osiris after the late, great ODB.
Jalen Wright taken down behind the line of scrimmage. Sophomore from Durham, North Carolina, same hometown, or same, but close to Hendon Hooker from Greensboro. Played at Durham Southern. Hooker looking to go deep, and he lets it fly. It is incomplete. Hyatt thought he had it. Coverage down the field by Jordan Riley Scott.
Well, it's the exact same play they ran earlier for the touchdown. A post by the outside receiver, a wheel by Jalen Hyatt on the outside. This time he doesn't stop it, he keeps running. Nearly came down with that one. You wish Hendon would have put that a little more over the top and upfield. That's some of that accuracy issues downfield we've talked about.
I don't know.
He is 4 for 8 to start the night. Over the middle, caught, and it turned upfield, and a little bit of room from Romello Keaton, and he turns it into a 32-yard gain. First quarter still ticking. Tennessee looking to add. Hooker directing traffic, and a great open field stop by Ball State. That's Riley Scott, who dropped in coverage a couple plays ago. It's a loss of 1.
And again, it wasn't that wasn't an accurate throw, but was it the right type of throw, right? Put that one a little more on the line. If you put that higher with more air under it, downfield, he's got the arm strength for it. Receiver can run underneath it there when you have an underneath defender trailing.
Can we get a new headshot for you?
Terrible headshot like that right there. You got to change things up. That's bad, man. That's like 6 years old.
Yeah.
I got to talk to somebody.
Can't believe you went with that look. Here's Jalen Wright on the perimeter. And he's able to pick up 6. Another stop for the sophomore from Clinton, Maryland, Jordan Riley Scott. Ball State was out their starting middle linebacker, Brandon Martin, in this game. He's a little banged up. Here's Squirrel White with his first touch. He's sure to be a fan favorite. And this leaves Tennessee with 4th and short. And Jalen Wright right at the yellow line. We remind you the yellow line is unofficial. This is Tennessee first down.
Really good job off the edge here. Almost blowing that up. How many 4th downs have we seen already?
Enough to last a month, usually 4 of them already. Cole, Florida transfer Gerald Minshew getting the start at left tackle in this one.
Yeah, super athletic. It's a position that's not locked down just yet. We'll keep an eye on it the entire game.
Hooker to the outside. Jimmy Holiday. Mincy will split time with Jeremiah Crawford is the plan, and everything going according to plan for the Volunteers through one quarter. Tennessee got a pick on the first play of the game. The second play of the game, they threw a touchdown pass, and Volunteers with a 17-0 advantage. Back in Knoxville, beautiful night for football. Hendon Hooker and the Volunteers up 17-0. Cole, you're down on the field. What does Hendon Hooker look like to you tonight versus last year?
I think the biggest thing that I've noticed about Hendon is how comfortable he looks in some of the play action stuff that Tennessee does, which essentially is every play. So when he puts that ball down in the belly and kind of pulls it back up, Jordan, I don't see his eyes going down, looking at the back. He's keeping his eyes downfield as his potential targets or whatever his read is at the line of scrimmage, not moving his shoulders too much. Just very fluid with that football in and out of fakes.
Been on quite a run, 13th consecutive game with a touchdown pass, second most in Tennessee history. That's dangerous, but still caught, and it's turned into a Tennessee first down, and Brew McCoy stepped out of bounds at the 8-yard line. Second catch of the night for the former Trojan. Jabari Small gets by one, then a second. Brought down by the third and fourth on a gain of 5. Second and goal. Hooker again, and his second rushing touchdown of the night. Tennessee proved last year they were a better team when they could run the ball, and they're doing that at ease tonight, especially with QB.
Yeah, it makes this offense so dangerous. Hendon Hooker, as good of a passer as he was last year and is still, his legs give another element to this defense and give nightmares to defensive coordinators all over the country.
Extra point is good. Sixth time in his career as a ball, Hendon Hooker's had at least one passing touchdown and rushing touchdown in the same game.
And it's not complicated stuff, right? But because of the tempo, you can run something as easy as just a zone read. And you got the nickel back, Lauren Strickland right here, and Hendon Hooker's going to get eyes on him, read him. Look how hard he comes out at the running back, and there's nobody left for Hendon Hooker. Good block on the outside there by Jalen Hyatt. But the tempo, that's everything, right? It's such a simple play, but when you line up so quick, guys are caught off guard. They're not thinking about, oh yeah, I got to keep contained and watch the quarterback. He's like, oh, where's the ball? Runs to it, and all of a sudden, Hendon Hooker with sleight of hand has a touchdown.
The only question now is if he's going to change clothes at halftime. Yesterday we talked to him about his wardrobe changes as a youth. He said, yeah, I just had to be the perfect outfit for the perfect event. I changed 6 times. By the time we talked to him midday yesterday, he was in his 3rd different outfit.
I feel him. Tom, you know, I've always been a fashion aficionado. I don't know about 4 times in a day, but I tell you what.
Yeah, you had 3 different outfits at your wedding.
That's true. Yeah, but I tell you what, one time kindergarten, our mom made us pick out our outfit the night before. So there wasn't any drama in the morning, right? I picked out an outfit in the morning. I was like, no, you know what? I'm not feeling it. It was matching stripes, red and blue. She's like, no, you picked it. You're wearing it. So I show up. I'm putting up a fight. Kindergarten teacher says, here, I got it from here. I kicked her. I said, I'm not wearing this. Gave her a nice swift kick to the shin, and yeah, I've been a diva ever since.
I had emergency clothes in kindergarten too, but that was for a totally different reason. 24-0 Tennessee with the lead.
Not my proudest moment, but I'm sorry, Miss Stone out there. She was a sweet lady. Probably. Yeah. She was a sweet lady.
She wore shin guards day 2.
Yeah, needed to.
Well, Ball State has proven to be kind of throw caution to the wind tonight. At what point do they settle down, and what can they get out of this game at this point?
Well, I think they get back to some of the quick game stuff they were doing with John Paddock early in the game after the interception. You know, Tennessee was given a little grass. You see him playing a little more press coverage now on the edges, not giving them that, but get some of those quick throws to the perimeter, make this a 1-on-1, 2-on-2 game.
It's Carson Steele again, finds just one. Cole, what are you seeing up front from Tennessee here early on?
Nice job taking on an offensive line that actually plays pretty physical, especially for a group of 5 MAC offensive line. Most of these starters back from last year, Jalen Turner, Corey Stewart, guys that really stuck out on film. And the beef of that Tennessee defensive line is showing up early. I like the way that they're filling their gaps. It's a single gap defense, and haven't seen them out of those too often.
Figures you'd go with beef. The Kaler family owns a herd of bison. They get it to the outside, and Johannes Tyler stopped just short of a first down. Nope, they got it. Was bison on the menu last night? I feel like we had just about everything else.
No, we had elk sliders. I don't think there was bison. Those elk sliders were fire, Tom.
Just don't find those anywhere, do you?
I don't.
Here's Steele again. Carson Steele last year carried the ball 192 times. It was top 50 in the country in rushing attempts. He can handle a workload. He already has 8 carries tonight. Six and 7 last year for Ball State after a loss in their bowl game. Steele. And he's able to pick up 5. He did all of that last year as just a freshman, and last year one of just 7 true freshmen with over 1,000 all-purpose yards.
I think that last run right there is where he's most effective. He's a really nice one-cut runner. When he makes that cut, he's not looking for anything extra other than getting north and south. And sometimes in a lot of the zone scheme stuff that you see, being maybe half a step slower than other guys can be a big advantage.
Interesting take on that. He was over the middle for a first down, and it's Jayshon Jackson who picks it up. This is a Ball State team that came with the second fewest returning passes in the country, behind only Colorado State, but Paddock looks to be in rhythm.
Yeah, a lot of experience on the outside, and starts with great protection. You see a nice pocket form around Paddock. Got a dig route, high-low combination on the outside, and Jayshon Jackson, their best receiver. He's a great route runner. Look how quickly in and out of that break. That's what created that separation.
6th play of the drive for the Cardinals. Ryan Lazan handles that one of the 4 tight ends who will see significant action for Ball State.
You know, with so much of the transfer portal being a thing, Ball State had a nice little pickup. They got Amir Abdur-Rahman from Vanderbilt. Big body wide receiver on the outside to add to the 2 studs in Jayshon Jackson and Johannes Tyler they already had. Despite what happens tonight, this is a team that's they're gonna make some waves in the MAC.
Got a vote to win their division in the MAC. That's a pickup of 1. And when you're looking to pick up a player from the transfer portal like they did with Abdur-Rahman, it helps offensive coordinator Kevin Lynch and his brother, Coach Abdur-Rahman at Vandy.
Yeah, Joey Lynch, the offensive coordinator at Vandy, made that connection, and that means it's all the same verbiage, same system, same offense, easy to pick up. And another 3rd down, critical for this Tennessee defense to get pressure on John Paddock. Haven't seen much tonight.
Ball State 205 on 3rd down tonight. And we got a flag on the play. Corey Stewart, the left tackle.
False start. Offense number 75. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Stewart from the Volunteer State, played high school ball at East Nashville High School. Good basketball player at East Nashville for 4 years. Only lettered in football for a couple of seasons.
3rd and long here. Tyler Barron and Byron Young both check back into the game. You see Byron Young here on the edge. He's the guy they need to develop into a game wrecker.
They rush 4. Abdur-Rahman, after being in motion, pulls it in and gets taken down after a pickup of 4. Offense will stay on the field for another 4th down attempt.
One thing you've seen Tennessee do a couple of times tonight on 3rd downs, lining up one side, center over, covering up all 3 offensive linemen, assuring yourselves you'll get some one-on-ones, knowing that you're going to get a lot of 5-man protection from Ball State.
Cardinals 0 for 2 on 4th down tonight.
4th down earlier in the game, they took a shot. They got man coverage on the outside if they want it.
Wow, what a catch from his backside. Johannes Tyler, and a flag afterwards to pick up a 14. What a recovery by Tyler.
Oh, they're going to call that on Tyler.
Pass interference. offense, number 6. 15-yard penalty. Repeat the down. 4th down.
It was a back shoulder throw. Will Hines-Tyler makes a great adjustment. Let's see at the top, as soon as he turns right here, where's the push-up? Yeah, a little extension there with the right hand. Not a ton. Warren Burrell on the receiving end of that. But anytime you extend that hand, even if it's not significant, it's easy for that back official to see it and throw the flag. Unfortunate, because that was a heck of a throw and a heck of a catch.
Don't we see it more often with 2 hands on a push-off versus 1?
But again, just the angle of that judge was sitting right, looking right back towards the quarterback. Easy for him to see that extension with the right hand.
Lucas Barrow, the Australian punter from Newcastle. Cardiff High School, played Australian football for the Sydney Swans. And a special hello to all of his former Sydney Swans teammates watching this morning in Australia. 37-yard punt.
He's been laser accurate tonight and all of last season, but any good quarterback still is a grinder. You see him here working on his base, really working on keeping his legs tight, his back foot underneath him, not over-striding with his front foot, and his accuracy has been on full display. Watch that front foot. Gets down really quick. He's not striding too far. That's when he'd get in trouble. Missed throws high, missed throws low. He's been really efficient and really strong with his base, and you've seen the accuracy be more consistent because of it.
From the Megan Trainor playbook, it's all about that base.
All about that base, baby. No trouble.
On second only to Heath Schuler in consecutive games with a touchdown pass for Hendon Hooker. And he's got 2 rushing touchdowns tonight. If you had Megan Trainor on your bingo card, congratulations, you're a winner tonight. Pick up a 4 to Jalen Wright and a flag late. We've talked about what this Tennessee offense will look like behind Jabari Small at tailback, and they have some very talented freshmen that will get chances. Justin Williams-Thomas and Dylan Sampson. But all that preseason conversation, I feel like Jalen Wright was just swept over. Talking about these great freshmen, where can he fit in this year?
Well, he's extremely talented. He's explosive. I think the biggest difference is he was banged
Pass
up last year.
Offense number 19. Penalties half the distance to the goal. Repeat 1st down.
Speaking about Jalen Wright, who's out there right now, banged up a little bit last year, didn't really have the confidence, coaches said, in his physicality between the tackles, be able to take hits, deliver them. He's a completely different player this year because of that trust. He's healthy. He trusts his body. He's more physical, more explosive. I think you're going to see a guy that, you're right, has been kind of overlooked.
Yep.
But he's going to play a huge role in this offense as the number 2 back right behind Jabari Small.
Ball's left with a 1st and 17. Keaton had to leave his feet to haul that one in, and that gave the Cardinals time to collapse on him. Pickup of 7, and that will leave 2nd and 10. Back to the outside, and nowhere to go after that completion. Walker Merrill with his first catch. On 3rd and 5, deep ball, and too strong.
There's a lot of contact and hand fighting on the outside right there. Walker Merrill working the vertical route.
Best quads in the team?
Oh my gosh, yeah, we were at practice. It's like, man, I gotta get back in the gym. And I wear short shorts, but my quads don't look like his.
You need a Nair sponsorship.
Hey, I'm not that hairy, to be honest.
Tennessee to punt it away. This is Paxton Brooks. And he almost got it blocked. Wow, what an effort by Ball State. Brooks somehow got away a boomer. It carries 45 yards before Jackson hauled in the fair catch. All balls. Well, Josh Heupel had quite a takeover on his hands when he showed up on Rocky Top. And the Tennessee River flows right by this stadium. And, well, since Philip Fulmer won the national championship in '98, later Was replaced by Lane Kiffin with his visor for just one season, and some other coaches kind of floated through. Dooley and Butch in a sub-500 team for a decade. And Jeremy Pruitt. Cole does a great impersonation. And then Heupel comes in his speedboat, and they said they're most proud of changing the culture and making those changes, but man, did he change this offense overnight.
Yeah, and I think that is part of the culture, right? I mean, players want to go to schools and play within systems that give them opportunities to shine, opportunities to get attention and play at the next level. And if you're a high school athlete out there that's a skill position, how could you not want to play for Josh Heupel and this Tennessee offense?
There's John Paddock in Ball State trying to get something going again, and they're able to find their tight end, Brady Hunt. Cole, how do you think Jeremy Pruitt would summarize this Tennessee tempo? No?
I think he would say that it would be very difficult to defend, and he'd be happy to see the quarterback play, and then he wouldn't have to run any of them off.
Doesn't sound like the voice I heard last night, but we'll give you a pass.
Not familiar with that one.
2nd and 8. Jeremy won a bunch of money at the poker tables. Big write-up recently. Straight ahead and maybe a yard for Carson Steele again. And Dejon Terry able to make the stop. Terry will rumble off. Tennessee will get a little bit lighter up front.
Still no sacks tonight for this Tennessee defense. Doesn't mean they haven't been providing some pressure. I think they played well in the interior, but would love to see some pressure on the outside. Byron Young.
I see center right. All three covered again with Young down and Barron down inside.
Quick hitter to the outside and a big hit late on Ja'Shawn Jackson from Kamal Hadden.
Just a stick route. Got zone coverage, trying to find that soft spot. Hadden sitting in a cover 2 look. Cloud corner, just waiting for that one.
Transferred in from Independence Community College by way of Auburn after spending a spring there. Tennessee is without D. Williams tonight at another quarterback position. He's out with an injury.
You know, when they lost Alontae Taylor from last year, probably their best guy on the back end, best cover guy. But I really think this secondary maybe doesn't have the elite talent it's going to develop, but they are really deep and they're really solid on the back end.
Trayvon Flowers back to receive.
Delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty.
What a great visit we had
Still
with
fourth down.
Flowers yesterday, senior out of Tucker High School in Atlanta. Talked to him about his baseball upbringing, big Chipper Jones and Braves fans. And then he thought about it for a minute and goes, yeah, one of my old teammates plays for him, Michael Harris. He was playing up in age, and that guy's in the running for National League Rookie of the Year with Atlanta.
How great was that combo, though? Football was an afterthought for him. He was a baseball player. He's like, I went out there and scored a few touchdowns when I was 10 and then had a baseball tournament, so never went back.
Not a great punt. And that one will trickle out of bounds after just a 16-yard punt. Tennessee will have great field position with 6:05 remaining in this first half for Josh Heupel's squad. Well, they got Dolly on the big screen, and the only thing more popular than Dolly in the state right now is this Tennessee offense. They were fastest in the country last year.
A full second faster than Ole Miss, and Ole Miss flies. I tell you what, it creates problems. You got a team like Ball State. They've been practicing for the tempo since spring ball, trying to get ready for this game. A lot of teams, it's almost like facing a military academy school. It's just completely different. You got to focus on certain things that you never have to, because they're lightning fast. Tyler
Stockton is the defensive coordinator for Ball State. He faced this offense, and that's a play inbounds by McCoy, who spun back to the inside. He was a player at Notre Dame when Heupel was in his second year as the OC at Oklahoma. It's less than 3 seconds. Their average was 2.99 last year. Tillman. Pickup of 7. .99 plays per minute last season. They go to the run game here, and Jabari Small's got a first down. Pickup of 8.
And one of the advantages of this, you run it early in the game, you automatically know the default check for the defense. So now when you go this fast, you know exactly what coverage, exactly what look you're going to get. And Alex Galesh can dial up plays like play action right here.
Able to dump it off to Small. And he scampers out of bounds after another first down. Here's Jalen Hyatt. First man miss, and he's out of bounds. From a quarterback perspective, what do you need to be efficient in this offense?
You need to be able to think and process quickly. And that's why sometimes the first year in this is really hard to be effective. Hendon Hooker was the outlier.
Small again. Still chugging. He's got a Tennessee first down, and they shove him into the end zone. Touchdown, Tennessee. Javonte Spraggins hauled him in. And it's a 7-yard physical run by Small and company. Touchdown will be in Small's name, but Spraggins deserves a lot of credit for that one. He did the heavy lifting. Here's Chase McGrath again. 31-0 Tennessee. Cole, you love this play?
Josh Heupel was excited to tell us about Javonte Spraggins at right guard and how his technique and fundamentals have improved during the offseason. This is just extra effort. Go find the pile, push him into the end zone, and get your celebration going. He's had a different one for every touchdown Tennessee has scored today.
Tennessee up 31-0 on Ball State. Pretty good party, huh? Speaking of parties, anywhere Chris Doering is, that's a party. Let's get you back to the studio. Here's Dari.
Yeah, coming up here at the half with my guys, Takeo, Ben, and CD. At Tom Hart Field, the new quarterback is the starting quarterback here in Missouri. We'll show you what Brady Cook's doing. 3 ranked teams in action. Second half, look ahead. Quick take here.
Drew McCoy showing out first half of his ball career.
Yeah, looking good. Started really fast, 4 scores, 4 drives. They look good.
Reckless abandon by the defense.
All right, thanks, Jimmy. Cole, did you hear your boy Takeo pregame talking about the jitters before the first game of the season? That he had his dance moves, guys were throwing up, other dudes were crying.
Hold on.
Were you the one
Takeo
crying?
Spikes never danced once in his life.
Ever?
No, come on.
Not even at his wedding?
There was a birthday party that he may have gotten a little carried away. But before a game, somebody in studio heard him say it like, I would have stayed away from you. You don't want to be anywhere near that guy before a game.
A little
Nowhere
intense?
near him. A little bit intense, yes.
Did you see anybody crying in your locker room before a game?
No. Come on.
Yeah, because he was the one.
There's no crying
Yeah.
football.
Yeah. Crying Cole. That's the one way you get the nickname. Deep ball, and it is picked off. Second pick of the game for Tennessee. Kamal Hadden with the takeaway. It's bring your baby to the ballpark night, and they'll see a couple of interceptions.
Yeah, condensed set. They're just going smash concept here, a flat with a corner behind it. And John Paddock actually had to drift away to his left. He was falling away a little bit, couldn't get enough velocity on that. Kamal Hadden in the right place at the right time and plays that ball really well. Corners always talk like, hey, I could have played receiver. I can high point a ball. That's how you do it right there by Hadden.
It's Hadden's second consecutive game with a pick. He had one against Purdue in the Music City Bowl.
And this is what they need, right? I mean, 122nd in the country last year in pass defense. Didn't get many takeaways either. It's a team that's been dying for some pressure on the quarterback, some takeaways on the second level, third level back there, and already 2 tonight.
Here's Jalen Wright again. It's interesting. You go back and look at Josh Heupel's history back to his first of 2 years as the offensive coordinator at Missouri. And when the offense has been really good, top 10, the defense has been really bad from a measurables standpoint. When the offense has been okay, the defense has been better. How do they get to that point where there's no give and take?
Just consistency, right? I mean, last year, the deep plays, the explosive plays, the missed tackles was a big issue for this defense. Look, when your offense is this explosive, you don't have to be, like I said earlier, you don't have to be top 5. But you can't be one of the worst in the country at missing tackles. You can't give the big plays from both broken coverages over the top. You just got to be more consistent. We're seeing flashes of that tonight.
That was Cedric Tillman on that last catch. And now a straight ahead run for Jalen Wright. Lost the football, and a big guy fell on it. Great recovery by Darnell Wright, senior right tackle.
Darnell Wright, a guy they thought about trying at left tackle, but then found out his natural home was just over on the right side. And somebody who I had a lot more confidence in coming back than a lot of other people did this year. I thought he had a really nice season last year, and he just doesn't get a lot of mention with other very good or great returning offensive linemen in the SEC.
Preseason second team all conference, was a top 10 prospect coming out of Huntington High School in West Virginia.
Look at the width of these receivers. We got 5 guys in the box for Ball State, second and short. Because of the width, they only need to pick up 1 yard. They're going to run it here. It's only 5 guys in between the tackles.
Easy first down pickup for Jabari Small. Then it gets gang tackled. It's a gain of 4.
That's the difficulty. You got 4 wide receivers, all of them outside the numbers. You have to respect them. They're too good on the outside, and then you don't have the numbers inside. That's the breakdown I did earlier. It's what's so difficult about playing this offense.
And now running quickly and Small with a stiff arm. Picks up just 1. The Tennessee offensive line looking a little tired here into the first half. Hooker fires, incomplete. Trying to fit it to McCoy. Great recovery by Nick Jones.
Boy, this is one of the things that they're going to start to build this chemistry. Watch the route here by Brew McCoy. As soon as that DB gets a little bit under, he needs to reduce. He needs to cut him off, see him drift upfield a little bit, allowed that corner to get underneath the ball a little bit, made it difficult for Hendon to put that out in front.
Ball State jump. Hooker fires the pylon, and we got a flag there as well. Tillman ruled incomplete, out of bounds. It'll be offsides by Ball State and probably pass interference against the Cardinals also.
Offside. Defense, number 54. Pass interference. Offense, number 4. Penalties offset. Repeat the down. Third down.
Tillman caught with a push off.
Another thing we didn't talk about much is, Brew McCoy, he's been practicing with the team like he was going to be eligible all along, but hasn't played a ton of football in the last couple of years. Yeah, so little things like that, when a DB gets underneath you, stacking him, getting on top, being quarterback friendly with your routes, those are all things that are going to come with a little bit more time and chemistry.
197 career snaps for Brew McCoy. So essentially 2 games for a Tennessee offense that he's played his entire career, and it feels like he's been college football for 8 or 9 years.
Now Vols ran 111 offensive plays against Purdue in their bowl game. Hooker on the run, touchdown Tennessee. Bought himself some time, and he found Walker Merrill for another score. First half not yet complete. Hendon Hooker has already thrown for 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. He's also rushed for a pair of touchdowns. Point after is is good. 38-0 Tennessee.
And we talked about that left tackle position. Gerald Mincey, Jeremiah Crawford both working. Really strong protection on the left side there by Mincey. Allowed Hendon Hooker to work left. And I love that about him. He's so dangerous with his legs, but he is always getting his eyes downfield first. He wants to pass first when he gets outside the tackle. Found Walker Merrill there.
Merrill knew where to go to celebrate. Straight to the twisted T.
And I love that because he was a little frustrated. That long pass down the sideline on the third down.
Yeah.
Had one-on-one coverage as a receiver. And Merrill, he probably thinks I'm going to get a touchdown here. Didn't get it. Came to the sideline. Cole said, body language, you look a little disappointed. Hendon went and tried to talk to him. That's the leadership, right? Go talk to your receiver, get him back on the right page, and just a few drives later, hook up for a touchdown.
Hooker 16 of 22 for 201. Fair catch asked for by Ball State. And with 1:45, they'll bring the offense back out under the direction of John Paddock, who is 12 of 20. 81 yards so far.
All right, so now if you're Ball State, Mike New and offensive coordinator Kevin Lynch, this is such valuable time right here. You got a quarterback that came into this game with only 34 pass attempts in his career. Now, he's been around the program for a number of years, but 2-minute drill, so important. Work through the logistics of the situation, work through the tendencies, what you want to do with the football, protecting it, checking it down. All those things that are situational that take experience. It's a great moment here for John Paddock to get some live action.
He's a scratch golfer, was all conference in high school. He started out bogey today. Here's Tyler. Takes it for a first down.
I don't know about you, but bogey is not a bad start for me. As long as I'm not going breakfast ball and triple off the first, and I go bogey, I'm feeling good.
But your mental's in a good spot. 90 seconds left in the half. That was a bullet to his tight end, or probably the running back, Will Jones. Fifth-year senior out of Anderson, Indiana. Second and 8. Here comes a blitz up the middle. Flair to the outside. Amir Abdul-Rahim, who had the game-winning catch against Tennessee a few years ago for Vanderbilt. One of Derek Mason's best wins during his era as Vandy's head coach, and one that probably cost Butch Jones his job here. Third and 3. Pressure again. Beautiful over-the-shoulder catch made by Jay-Sean Jackson. He's got 26 consecutive games of the reception.
Oh, I love that. Little check at the line of scrimmage by Paddock. He saw man coverage, but he saw the inside receiver had cushion at the line of scrimmage. You want that inside fade, and a perfectly thrown ball.
Here's a screen against the blitz. They find Jones. He's to the 15, to the 10. And he's at the pylon, lost the football. They say he was out of bounds before he made the dive. They're going to mark him at about the 2.
How about that touch on the screen to float it right over the defensive lineman? Still be accurate. Allow your back to get behind those offensive linemen and run.
Ran for 31 after the catch. That toe on the left foot was out right at the 2.
That's a good thing for Ball State. Otherwise, that would have been. Now, are they going to take a look at it?
And Josh Heupel went all the way down to the side.
The previous play is under further review.
Let's see if that. Oh. So what they're looking at here is that toe did not hit the chalk, and that ball came out. It's a fumble. Did it hit the pylon? Did it go through the end zone? It looked like it hit the pylon, which means that's going to be a touchback.
Woo. You know, a lot of times in these scenarios, we talk about clear and immediate recovery by the defense with the whistle. There's nothing more immediate than it hitting the pylon.
Yeah. Yeah. Hit it square. Boy, that's the thing. So fundamentally, as a runner, We were always taught, unless it's fourth down, goal to go, or a game-winning situation, never extend the ball. Right? Just too many bad things can happen. Right there, that angle, it looks like is the toe on the line, is it not? But that other angle from the end zone, looking straight down the line, it sure looked like there was green grass in between the foot and the sideline right here.
I will tell you, side judge immediately pointed to the sideline before it felt like the ball even got to the pylon. I was down here in the corner of the end zone watching it. Felt like he made a fairly confident call, but that look right there feels like there is some space.
It's going to be a touchback Tennessee ball.
Steve Marlowe, our white hat. John Bible, our replay official tonight.
That is the most demoralizing feeling in the world. Senior year happened to me at Georgia. I mean, we were getting our butts kicked, but it was fourth quarter, and I got out on a scramble on the edge and dove for the pylon in just slow motion as it slipped through my fingers and through the end zone. And I don't think I've ever seen James Franklin blow a gasket more than he did right there. He's just like, what are you doing? It's not fourth down. It's not, you know, just go out of bounds if you have to. But
I have a feeling you saw him blow a gasket a few more times.
yeah, maybe a few, you know. I wasn't perfect.
Got a big one tonight on the road at Purdue.
After further review, the ball carrier lost possession of the ball inbounds and fumbled it into the pylon. Therefore, we have a touchback. First down, Tennessee.
Will Jones tried everything he could to get to the end zone, just lost the grip on it.
Yeah, and you never want to fault a kid, right? I mean, for putting out maximum effort. But again, those are those coaching points. It's 2 minutes. It's not a goal to go. It's not a fourth down scenario. To protect the ball at all costs, especially in the 2-minute drill. And a lot of momentum and a great drive there by that Ball State offense, but didn't end the way they wanted it to.
32 seconds left in the half. What do you think Josh Heupel does at the quarterback position in the second half?
I think Hendon will come out, and I think Milton will come in very quickly behind him.
Think one series or maybe
one series, yeah, as long as doesn't throw a pick or get a 3 and out. I think they really want to know, is Joe Milton the future? Right? I mean, he's so talented. Had some mistakes last year early, that's why Hendon took over, but boy, when you're in shorts and t-shirts or red jerseys, there's not a guy that looks much better.
No. Even the scouts drool all over him.
But when the lights come on, can he continually make good decisions with the football and be accurate like he is in practice? That's the question mark. That's what they want to see here in the second half.
Play clock expired before the snap.
Delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Hendon Hooker's complaint is we were ready to go and you were holding us up after a dead ball and a Ball State substitution.
And Tennessee got 2 timeouts. 30 seconds is plenty of time for this offense with 2 timeouts. So I think they're going to try to hit a couple chunk plays. And again, great practice, great situational football for Hendon Hooker here in week 1 as well. Talk about that left tackle position. Jeremiah Crawford now in there for Gerald Mincy.
It's complete. That's Cedric Tillman. And we got a flag on the play.
Jerome Carvin got a little excited, guys. You can go full slab. Extra sauce, not always acceptable.
They're going to charge you for that, just like Chipotle and guac.
They're getting
extra
their money
sauce,
on
come
that
on.
one. It's like the honey mustard or honey roasted honey mustard at Chick-fil-A. When you ask for a handful, they give you 1.
Well, you got big hands.
I ain't gonna get it.
So Mike knew what he wants to do.
I mean, you love for a guy to finish, right? What'd you say? What was the whistle line you said earlier, Cole?
He played through the echo of the whistle.
Echo. Yeah, he did.
I see it's just out of your screen. You get a little slab there, but then it was kind of going to the ground and put his belly on him.
After the play, personal foul, offense number 75. That foul carries a 10-second runoff. Please reset the game clock to 12 seconds. The game clock will start on the ready for play.
It's kind of like the WWE tag team, you know, like there's that moment where it's 2-on-1 for a second.
Yeah.
That was that. And just, yeah.
Listen, I had no problem with it. I'd like to clarify. I actually thought it was good football. But
Of course
the
you did.
official standing right by him, he didn't think too highly of it.
Bias is showing. That's okay.
Dropped the people's elbow over there.
Tennessee will let the clock run out on the half. Then Mike New had the option to take or deny the 10-second runoff. And Tennessee will take a 38-0 lead into the half. Hey, coming up in moments, you can watch a live performance from the Pride of the Southland Band on SEC Network Plus. Start streaming on the ESPN app now. Here's Cole with Heupel.
Coach Heupel, that ball comes loose down near the pylon. Just interested in what you saw. You ran down and wanted the replay right away.
Yeah, I just saw the ball come out. Didn't know, whether his foot was out of bounds or not. We were fortunate to get it. I like a lot of what we did in the first half. I didn't like the end of the first half. You know what I mean? Starting with me, time management right there, and then defensively, we got to get off the field.
Why has Hendon been so successful running the football in the red zone?
Just what they're doing. Structurally, they're crashing the party. He's reading that edge man and made a couple nice pulls.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Well, Josh Heupel and his team averaging nearly 7 yards a play. Dominating first half for the Volunteers. Plenty to talk about in the studio. Here's Darian again. SEC opening night, we get ready for the second half of action. They lit up the letters. All they were missing was Vanna White, but VOLS in the south end zone. A return to tradition at Neyland Stadium, and tradition says that Ball State has never beaten an SEC team, and looks like that will continue. 38-0 Tennessee. Tom Hart, Jordan Rogers, Colts down the field. What did we miss in the first half?
Well, it started out pretty good, right? First game of the season, first play on defense, interception.
Yeah.
First play on offense, touchdown. I don't think you can draw it up any better. Loved Hendon Hooker. He was extremely accurate. Cole mentioned it in the first half. He looks so comfortable, right? And we talk about it all the time. A quarterback in his second year in an offense is going to take another step, which for a guy that threw 31 touchdowns and 3 interceptions, it's a pretty scary thought, and he looked the part in the first half.
He was versatile as well. He was so efficient with the ball last year, and in the first half he was willing not just to pass but also run for a couple touchdowns. So 2 by air, 2 by land for Hooker. And 17 of 23. Pretty good first half. We'll see how long they require of him to play here in the second half. Ben Van Guten, transfer from Indiana Wesleyan, kicks off for Ball State. And an opportunity for a return. And then a flag coming in on the tail end. Let's get down to Cole on the sideline. Cole, what did you see in the first half?
Well, offensive line was going to be really something that we wanted to watch, specifically left tackle Jeremiah Crawford, Gerald Mincy, seeing who was going to win that. I talked to the offensive line coach, Glenn Elby, before the game. He said it's just too close. He said both guys had the position locked down at different points in camp. I thought Mincy looked a little bit better in the first half. We'll keep an eye on it here in the second half, but overall I thought the O-line did a nice job. Protection was almost seamless in the first half. We talk a lot about the run game, but that pass pro, Jordan, I thought was fantastic by the Vols OL.
Hey, Cole, just walk the viewers through, how do you judge the intricacies of O-line play, especially in a game like tonight when you're trying to, point out the differences between Mincy and Crawford?
Well, first thing, let's just talk about assignments. All right, I didn't see a lot of busted assignments for the Tennessee offensive line, specifically with those two. Mincy seemed to be a little bit more adept of finishing, a little bit more athletic, be able to recover when things didn't necessarily go his way early. And honestly, he just looks a little bit more athletic.
Well, he has his eyes on what is the offensive line trophy, and they know exactly where that thing has ended up in years past. And there's an early run for Jalen Wright to start the second half. Joe Moore Award honors the best offensive line in the game annually, and Cole, he is well aware of what the opportunities are for this Tennessee offensive line. You might not think of that when you talk about your typical road grading NFL elite talent offensive lineman.
I think you're exactly right, Tom, and it's one thing thankfully being a part of that committee with Aaron Taylor, I'm honored to be a part of it, but that we've had to adjust our eyes through what's happening offensively in college football the last few years. You can't just go out and say, oh, that's an air raid team, or oh, that's a team that throws the ball too much, or they spread things out. We've had to adjust how we sort of view and grade offensive line play. Take 2019 LSU. They threw the ball all over the place.
Yep.
But they were the more dominant group in the nation that year. I think there are other groups that you could go back and look at. You look at 2018 Oklahoma. You look at 2020 Alabama. Teams that were very balanced but still threw the ball a lot. But those offensive lines were the most dominant, were the best finishers, were the best with their assignments in college football. So by no stretch of the imagination would anybody affiliated with that award say, oh, Tennessee runs their offense this way, they manage their offense this way, they don't have a chance to win it.
Keep it on the ground. Here's Jalen Wright once again. And he's able to pick up a first down. This is an offensive line that's expected to be out on the field for a ton of plays. And now Ball State will go down. And the Tennessee fans react. And that'll bring a stoppage of play. Montez Spraggins has had an impact on this game already, and he has goals in mind for this offensive line. And Cole, this is what you were talking about moments ago, comparing what Tennessee did last year in terms of pass run balance and overall production with that 2018 Oklahoma team and 2020 Alabama offensive line, both winners of the Joe Moore Award.
I mean, how bananas is that 49-51, your split, run pass? And for those folks that just think Tennessee throws the ball 75 times a game, you look at the numbers right here. It's just not real. It's not the way that they operate. Now, those numbers below that probably going to have to come up a little bit and that offense be better for them to go out and win it because they're truly going to have to dominate. But they have the experience, and if they continue to grow, be better, that opportunity will be there for this Tennessee offense.
Tavion Woodard, sophomore out of West Lafayette High School, helped off the field for Ball State. Jacob Warren motions out.
Safety here going to roll to the middle of the field. They're going to get one high, probably a cover three or a man look on the outside.
And they'll try to run it against that front. Justin Ramsey from Merrillville, Indiana, with the stop. Pickup of 2.
It's good to see Brew McCoy out there doing the operation. Just notice he was the first receiver back into his stance, trying to get used to the tempo, the alignment.
Deep ball over the middle, incomplete.
We mentioned the mechanics, right? Early on, keeping his feet underneath him. Watch the stride here. You want to keep your feet. That punch foot is barely even stepping. Watch how wide he gets there. That front foot goes about 6 inches forward a little bit. Anytime you get a little too wide, that's when that ball starts sailing on you a little bit.
Which one's the punch foot?
Front foot. It's more of a replace. It used to be you want to stride with it. Now it's more of just a replace. Let your hips rotate through.
3rd and 8, and Hooker's going to be taken down just past midfield. Oh, and we got an extra shove, and that will draw a flag. Darnell Wright went down like a Jenga tower.
It's a nice sell, but I'm not sure anybody's buying it.
After the play, personal foul, defense, number 36, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Tell you what, the refs bought it.
Yeah. Houston had a problem with his face mask.
Look at that. Look at the acting job here. I love it. You know what's funny is you didn't see is that he initiated it right before that. It's always the second guy.
And he goes down face first. Ah, love it. Susan Lucci's jealous. On 1st and 10, they will run it, and it's a huge hole up the middle into the 5 and all the way down to the goal line. Jalen Wright with a 34-yard run. And they are knocking on the door. Ball at the 3. Wright again. And Wright carries it into the end zone. Thought Hooker was going to be a touchdown vulture again, but he lets Jalen Wright take it the rest of the way.
play that sets up that touchdown. This gap assignment by Ball State. You see two guys come off the edge and stay outside, leaving that seam right on the inside. And Jalen Wright, a healthy, explosive Jalen Wright, mixing it up and finishing it off. They're going to need depth at that position. With how many plays they run, great to see Jalen Wright.
Cole, how about your guy Mincy, not only pushing and shoving, but celebrating? Not quite a left.
You make love, young fellas. Love to see the big man go and get after the kids. Sign the shoe! Sign the shoe!
Cole Kublik's willing to give his autograph to the young fans sitting in the front row, but the last time didn't really work out, Jordan.
Yeah, Gerald Mincy is in a left tackle competition. He's not used to scoring a touchdown. Celebrate next time. He's got to not forget one minor step when you're signing an autograph.
That's not Joe Moore Award.
No, we got to be a better caliber of that if we want to win a national award. Mincy's the only one to make a Sharpie dull.
How do we even get the idea to let a player sign our shoe?
I just popped into my head.
Did you know that he didn't have the cap off the pin?
What'd you say?
He didn't have the cap off the pin.
I know.
You got to take the cap off before you give him the marker.
I thought it was off. I gave it to one of my friends. I thought that.
How many autographs do you have on your shoe tonight? What was it?
Trey Flowers.
Good. I mean, you got.
I got none.
Let's get some more. You guys want me to sign your shoe?
Yes.
Let's go. I'll even take the cap off to sign it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Come on.
Hate to break it to you, kids.
We're about to rip some autographs here. There we go.
Not going to want to resell that one on eBay.
There it is. Give me that Nike. Boom. I'm going to sign them all. That's all I do. Jordan, Tom, you guys got it. I'm signing. Look at this.
Well, we've got a group of kids going to go home tonight and say, who was that guy again?
Hey, I can go home and tell my wife I signed a Croc.
This game has come full circle. We've come from you having a baby Croc to now signing Crocs.
Yeah, I'll sign your hat.
Ball State lets it go after pressure and they pick up a first down. Here's what happened with the cap situation.
It's really a fumbled exchange here, right? You see the exchange. The problem is the cap is not off the pen. And Gerald Mincy, hey, it's his first big game here in Neyland Stadium. You got to know, if you're going to sign an autograph, you got to pop that cap off. Look, he's signing it. Well, no, nothing's going on that shoe. You know, it's first week for everybody. He's going to watch the film of that. He's going to correct his mistakes. He's going to make sure. He's going to get his pin cap reps in the gym. He's going to be better.
This one's going to be good. Watch this one. Oh, widen it out a little bit.
You're just ruining that kid's shirt.
Frame that one.
What do you?
Kids, it's not Brian Urlacher. I promise. It is not Brian Urlacher.
All right, who's pin? There you go. Good job, guys.
Cole, when's the last time you signed that many autographs?
The last time I had to have carpal tunnel surgery. Never in my life have I signed that many autographs. Not even at Fan Day at Auburn. They didn't know who I was.
Well, hey, you're a hero at Neyland Stadium.
Let's go.
3rd and 1 for Ball State, trailing by 45. Steele, with that extra effort and drive, picks up the first down. Had a touchdown in 6 different games last year, one of only 4 true freshmen in the country to do that. Running this offense, coordinated by Kevin Lynch, who's part of the 2nd youngest pairing in the FBS at the coordinator position. Amir Abdur-Rahman, with the first down. That Bill was the Ball State head coach in the early 90s after being an assistant and also head coach Indiana. 2nd from the left. Over the middle, complete, and a first down rumble for Tanner Kozio, freshman from Bloomingdale, Illinois.
On those tight ends getting involved for Ball State. They got two of them, one 6'6", Kozio 6'7", two athletic guys. One was a former quarterback, one a former wide receiver. They're going to play a big part of this offense for Ball State.
Pressure on the edge, and Ball State runs it with Vaughn Pemberton. Talking with Kevin Lynch yesterday about the family business being football, he said it was pretty clear early on that was going to be my calling as well, following Dad and his older brother.
How could it not? You know, you're just around it so much as a kid. You see it. It's in your blood.
Took over for his brother as his brother made the move to Vandy, joined Clark Lee's staff last year. Pressure from the edge again. Sidearm out. He finds Steele, and Steele gets pinballed down to the 3. How about the delivery from Paddock?
Oh, Patrick Mahomes-esque. Watch the arm angle here. That's nearly submarine. Really the only way he could have delivered that ball, though.
3rd and goal for Ball State.
Huge for Tennessee. Red zone's an area they struggled a lot last year. Great reps down here in the low red.
Touchdown, Ball State, delivered on time to Tanner Kozio. Tanner Kozio was found by Ball State when he was playing against Coach New's oldest son, who's at the game tonight. Played at 3 different high schools, and COVID cost him a season like many. Wasn't going to play in the Chicagoland area. The team relocated, and he cashes in on the end of a drive where John Paddock was 7 for 8 for 71 yards. Von Guten with the point after. And Ball State gets a touchdown on the board. Steady drive by Ball State. 10 plays, 75 yards, about 4 minutes off the clock. And the Cardinals able to find Pater for the first time tonight. It looks like Hendon Hooker's night is done. 18 of 25, 222 with 2 touchdowns by air and 2 on the land.
Yeah, dusting off a little rust. He did it with his arm, did it with his legs. Did everything you wanted to see. He was efficient, made quick decisions, was safe running the football, smart running the football. Now it's Joe Milton time. Now we get to see. There's no quarterback competition, don't worry. But there might not be a more talented backup quarterback in the entire country than the guy that backs up Hendon Hooker.
This is the beginning of Hooker's final season in Knoxville. Milton, the Michigan's transfer, will still have another year remaining. Ball State was offsides on their kickoff. Holiday with the return. So Joe Milton from Pahokee, Florida, started his college career at Michigan, was the opening night starter last year against Bowling Green, then struggled and suffered an injury against Pitt, and that's when Hooker took over.
You mentioned the talent, right? But the quarterback position, talent is secondary, right? The first thing you got to be able to do is you got to make the right decisions consistently, right? The ball's got to go to the right guys on a consistent basis, and you have to be accurate consistently. And I think some of the decision making.
Offside. Team number 18. 5-yard penalty to be assessed at the end of the return. First down.
Is it rare that these two guys, after going through competition, are such good friends that not only are they roommates, but their dogs get along? And Milton's got a pit bull named Blitz. Hooker's got a golden doodle named Cinco, and even they get along.
That's crazy. I mean, especially because both these guys transferred in to be the starting quarterback at Tennessee. It's not like one was here and never really got his chance. And no, they both thought they came here to be the starter. And to have a friendship flourish and work as well as it does is pretty special.
Here's what Hooker said when asked about Milton. Joe can really be the best football player in the nation. That is as good a encapsulation of what he has from a physical standpoint as you'll see.
And I know it sounds crazy, right? He's a backup quarterback. That can't be true. I mean, go ahead.
He's 6'5", 245. And what did he do when you saw him come on the field tonight?
He did multiple backflips, like the kind you see on TikTok where it's like, oh, he barely landed. It's like he's floating. It's like unbelievable. He's a huge human being, and he's doing backflips, and then all of a sudden he skips. He's rolling out, throws way off balance, 50 yards downfield. I mean, again, I'm going to say it. There might not be a more talented, physically gifted quarterback in the entire country. It's come down to decision-making and accuracy at times. So when the lights come on, can you be the guy that you are in practice?
Yeah.
And that's really what this Tennessee staff wants to see. Can he be the future when Hendon Hooker moves on? Or if by chance, and hopefully they don't, but they need him to step in at some point this year.
It's wild because it sounds like you're describing another quarterback in their division.
I know.
Well, Jim Harbaugh recruited him out of Florida. He was the #6 pro-style quarterback. Josh Heupel was trying to recruit him to UCF at the same time. They'll keep it on the ground with Dylan Sampson, the freshman. And Heupel would text him after every single one of his games and say, hey, I saw what you did. Now, can you do that in my offense? And movement up front.
Offside. Defense number 90 in the neutral zone with contact. 5-yard penalty.
We were at Tennessee practice yesterday, and while there was some downtime, the managers and the quarterbacks were trying to hit the crossbar from about 30 yards out. And typically, as many of them did, they're lobbing the ball towards the crossbar. Milton just puts it in his rifle and sends a laser line drive off the middle of the crossbar. It's Sampson again, a Baton Rouge native. Got great speed. He's a 4-star recruit. Broke Eddie Lacy's school record for career rushing yards at Dutchtown High School. Milton to throw for the first time. And here's Sampson with room. Stays in bounds, picks up a few more.
Sampson's going to get to play some football this year. Talking to Josh Heupel about him, he said, I don't know if I've ever been around a freshman that has picked up an offense as quickly as Sampson did. He was truly impressed with how much he could digest information, then immediately go execute.
Patiently trying to find some room. Sampson bottled up. I found the 3 fastest guys in the building. Some managers that were in charge of trying to block the signals. Watch them on the Tennessee sideline come sprinting down with their black bed sheets. Get out of my way. I got to protect the sideline signals.
That's amazing. Those guys probably get their steps in.
I'm guessing.
I mean, that's a workout there. And you know, it's like you got the big black thing that's like slowing you down. It's like a sail.
That's right.
Like running with those parachutes. Maybe we should go down and do that.
Be quite a workout. Great article in The Athletic last week talking about the ability to steal signs in college football. It's so much more prevalent than the NFL, where they have the microphone in the quarterback's helmet. Here's Milton changing direction. He's willing to take a hit. 22-yard scamper for Milton. When you played, did you have somebody who helped you out with defensive signs? Or did you pick them up?
Oh, yeah. I mean, every team has somebody up in the booth that's watching signs and down on the sideline as well. What you want to do first is you want to figure out which guy is live.
Yep.
Which one's actually signing for real. And a lot of times you can pick it up really quickly. Body language, you know, someone's trying a little bit harder than maybe another guy. And once you do that, it's just taking notes. Okay, what kind of sign was it? What'd they run?
Yeah.
Eventually you might get a few of them. But, yeah, every team's got a dedicated few guys that are looking at signs every game. It's part of it.
Does it help you as a quarterback? Were you in a position where you could use it?
Absolutely. If you can get a little look to the sideline and say, hey, it's going to be cover 3 here. They're going cover 3. That's huge. Anytime you can know what the other team's going to do before they do it, take any advantage you can get.
Milton delivers the strike. It's Squirrel White, freshman from Birmingham, with the catch. Four-star recruit, one of the top players in Alabama. Georgia was hard after Squirrel White, but Tennessee kept his commitment. Here's Sampson.
Well, he's going to be a fun kid to watch. You know, every team has those catapult systems that they track guys, GPS, and use it for a lot of reasons. But Squirrel White, what do you get, 23.6 miles per hour, something crazy like that? I mean, he can flat out fly. Once he picks up this system, he's going to be a weapon. And I think as the year goes on, his usage will increase, and he's going to be a dangerous weapon for this offense.
I don't know if he would have been a good fit at Georgia, because remember they had Ben Cleveland, and he loved squirrel soup.
Ooh, yeah,
not good.
Yeah.
He also ran a 19 on the GPS at 3:30.
Get out of here.
It's a big boy.
Is he going downhill? Here's Sampson again. Sampson 5'11", 190, and growing up in Louisiana, grew up a big Saints and Reggie Bush fan. Tries to model his game after that. You break Eddie Lacy's records, not just for a career, but also single game records. You're doing things pretty well down at Dutchtown High School.
What kind of numbers were those?
287 yards in a single game and 4,927 in his career.
Jeez.
Milton in zone. Just a little too fast, a little too hard.
So these are the moments, right? These are the teaching moments. We talked about the physical tools. It's great that you can throw a 100-mile-an-hour fastball, but do you have an off speed that can be accurate? This one, you got to take a little bit off it. You got to tight end. It's a weird angle, right? Tight end is directly on top, directly in line with you, so he's got to turn his body all the way around. It's tougher to adjust to. Got to take a little off that ball. Should have been a touchdown.
Going to go for it on fourth down. Vols have converted both fourth down attempts, and they got a jump. There's the flag, free play, and it is caught but out of bounds. Ramel Keaton was able to secure it, but couldn't come down in bounds. Brandon Berger jumped for Ball State.
Heads up play there from Parker Baldo. Knew he had him offsides. Go ahead and snap it. Get the free play.
The backups along that offensive line. Dane Davis at right
Offside.
tackle.
Defense number 90 in the neutral zone at the snap. The penalty is half the distance to the goal. It'll be fourth down.
You say great awareness up front, Cole. Great awareness by Milton, too. He knows he's got a free play. Give your guy a chance to make a play on the outside. It's a great ball. Just really good job by the defenders there.
And my mistake. It went from 4th and 4 to 4th and 1 now. Going jumbo. And that's good for a Tennessee first down.
Well, they've loved a little bit of just straight up option here. We saw Hendon Hooker score twice on that. Heard Josh Heupel at halftime mention their ends are coming to crash the party. Right? That means they're screaming around the corner, going for the running back, not paying attention to contain. That's how Tennessee was able to score twice there. Let's see if they dial it up again.
Milton ran for a couple of touchdowns last season. To throw, slant, and a flag down. Trying to find Jimmy Holiday. Red Potts out of Pickerington North in Columbus, Ohio.
I mean, the ball is just jumping off Joe Milton's hand. You know something about his fastball, huh?
Yeah, I caught one in the ankle pregame.
You got a nice little welt down there.
Uh-huh.
That's going to be fun to walk on tomorrow.
Tomorrow? We got to walk all the way back to the hotel tonight.
It's true.
Anybody has a golf cart, bring it to gate 21.
Pass
We've got
interference.
tips.
Defense number 4. The foul occurred in the end zone. The ball will be placed at the 2-yard line. Automatic first down.
Ben Joyce is throwing 103 miles an hour at Double-A. This kind of looks like it.
Jimmy Holiday working on Tyler Potts on the outside. Too much contact with that trail arm, and watch the ball just.
Back to live action. They'll run it. And it's another Tennessee touchdown. First of the career for the freshman Dylan Sampson. Sampson's senior year at Dutchtown High School, he averaged 9.3 yards per carry.
What?
Yeah.
It's almost a first down every time he touches the ball.
Right.
What? That's not fair.
He runs a 4.340. He was also named Homecoming King. And the coaching staff raved about how he picks up the communication. His mechanics are good. And talking with Josh Heupel, it's so rare for a freshman to be at that stage this early.
Especially in this offense, right? It's one thing to hear a play call, and it takes you a while to get to know exactly where you're supposed to be, why you're supposed to be lined up, what your responsibility is.
After the touchdown, unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 20, Tennessee, his first of the game. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
Cole, are they going to go sign shoes after the point after?
I haven't seen anybody run over this way, but I'm standing right by my guys. I'll try to direct traffic towards them.
I don't think that's something a second-string offensive line would do.
I think it's something they absolutely should do. You're not going to get many opportunities. You might as well do it now.
Chase McGrath has been perfect tonight, and that continues. Preseason, the coaches talk about Dylan Sampson, said he's going to have some sexy runs. Anything that ends in 6 looks pretty good.
You get a touchdown, and you get a touchdown, and Tennessee rolling.
On 10, yes.
All right, Dari, thanks. Yeah, that St. Louis connection Missouri's leaning on, but it was their defense in the first half. 3 picks in the first half against La Tech. Tigers didn't have a single game with more than 2 interceptions all year last year. Line drive kick after the penalty taken at the 14. And Ball State will have good field position. Busy SEC slate. We will be at Bryant-Denny Stadium Saturday night for #1 Alabama and the Aggies of Utah State, who are already 1-0 on the season. And the rest of the games, notable games in the conference this weekend, including Oregon and Georgia on ABC Saturday afternoon from Atlanta.
That's going to be an interesting one. Georgia breaking in an entire new defense. I mean, everybody got drafted in the first round from that defense last year. Dan Lanning, the head coach at Oregon. But the real game, I think, Cole, that you and me are excited about, Utah, Florida.
Absolutely. I just want to see physically if Florida can hold up. Feel pretty good about their front 7 defensively. Von Dexter, Britton Cox Jr., Ventrell Miller. But, man, I'm going to tell you, Utah, both sides of the line of scrimmage.
Start. Offense number 79. 5-yard penalty. First down.
They get after you. Tavion Thomas running the football. Obviously, Rising throwing the football. The guy's got better mobility than people give him credit for. Florida's got to show up, and I think I'll say it point blank. I think they need a massive game from Anthony Richardson to win that football game.
Tennessee up 45 here. And that ball is out of bounds. We'll see if they ruled it a catch to begin with.
Yeah, we talked about all those other ones too, but Sunday night, I'm really interested to see what Brian Kelly's LSU football team looks like. I think you could make a real argument that LSU has the 3rd most talented roster in this league. They have a lot of guys that are going to be playing on Sundays the next 2-3 years that are on that roster currently.
What are the challenges ahead for LSU?
Offensive line, first and foremost, probably starting a true freshman at left tackle, transfer from FIU at 1 guard, might be starting a guard from East Tennessee State at another spot. You know, is it going to be Jaden Daniels? I think it will be. You got a good receiving core. Have no idea what the run game is going to look like. Noah Kane, Penn State transfers in there.
That's complete to Ja'Shawn Jackson for a Ball State first down.
But they'll have a massive advantage up front on defense. Olajari, Ali Gay, Mason Smith. At Florida State offensive line, I'm not convinced because you pushed Duquesne around with the kid with his pants pulled up to his belly button that all of a sudden your offensive line's just good again. I'm
was
sorry,
a
I'm not there on it
T-shirt.
just yet.
You're hating on the kid. Quasi Garland, junior from Conyers, Georgia, is the injured Tennessee player. And he went down awkwardly after that hit. He's trying to get grips into both of his hands. And
looks like a stinger, right? Anytime you kind of dip that shoulder and take a hit, force right there. I've had that happen before. It's almost like when you hit your funny bone, except for that entire side of your body feels like that. So everything just kind of feels like it doesn't work for a second and then starts to come back. Not fun, though.
Tennessee athletic training staff helping him to his feet. Playing behind his brother Karat at nose. All right, so we got Coach Kelly down on the bayou. Other notable first-year head coaches at respective programs. What's your take on what Brett Venables will accomplish at Oklahoma coming over from Clemson?
To me, that's one of the most interesting, right? What's his identity? What's his culture? What I love is that he went out and got who I think is one of the best, if not the best, offensive coordinators in the entire country in Jeff Lebby from Ole Miss, and he's pairing him up with Dylan Gabriel. They were together at UCF, so there's some familiarity. That offense could be pretty scary. Mix that with what Brett Venables brings to the defensive side throughout his career. I think a lot of people are overlooking him.
Good stiff arm, not once but twice from Vaughn Pemberton.
So it's been a near perfect night for Tennessee, right? In most aspects. The one thing that I need to see a sack. Oh, almost just for morale, right? I mean, the starters aren't in there anymore, but that's going to be the big question mark. How this defensive front comes together, how dangerous, how destructive can they be off the edge? They're going to have to be when it comes to SEC play. And they made Paddock move a little bit, but never really hit home.
What does that mean going forward for him?
You just got to figure out what you need to do to generate a pass rush with four, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you can't just line up and let guys try to win one-on-one. You got to start using more games, moving guys like Byron Young around, not just putting them in one spot the entire time, moving Tyler Barron around, trying to figure out how to generate and where you can generate pressure from.
34 sacks last year. They brought pressure there, and it's almost picked. I don't know if Warren Burrell had eyes on the ball. Tennessee defense has taken away two of Paddock's passes tonight. Dejon Terry brought the pressure.
A little pressure up the middle that time.
Flowers back to receive. And that is a 41-yard punt from Lucas Barrow. 12 seconds left in the third quarter. Volunteers lighten up the scoreboard tonight. And going back to the end of last season, they've tied the 93 team for the longest streak in school history with 45 points or more in 4 consecutive games.
Oh, Vandy will hold on to the #1 offense in the SEC, at least for another drive or two.
Wow.
Putting up, what, 63 in Hawaii? Hey, it's not often we get to say that. Come
No.
on, don't take that from me.
Peacock it all you can. In all honesty, it was an impressive win for Vandy week 0. Tennessee going back to the ground game and a flag at the end of the play off the run by Sampson.
Cole, you see anything out of Mincy or Crawford that gives you a little more clarity about what that left tackle spot
Holding,
going to look like?
offense number 89. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
I just see a little bit more athleticism and a little more power from Gerald Mincy, and that's what Josh Heupel told us. He said that there's just a little bit more finish. Feels like he's a little bit more capable. Now, Crawford's done some nice things as well. I haven't seen him bust any assignments. He's been nice in pass pro, but Mincy just looks like a little bit of a different creature out there. He moves a little bit better, can get north and south a little bit faster. Obviously got a little bit bigger wingspan. I just feel like he's a guy that offers you a little bit higher ceiling with this left tackle competition for Tennessee.
Well, we've learned a lot so far tonight through 3 quarters, not just about this Tennessee football team, but Cole giving us a lesson on how to ruin a piece of retail clothing in just 2 easy steps. Give Cole Cubelic a Sharpie, and that shirt is now trash. It's opening night in the SEC, and Dan Smoops on point early.
Those glow sticks, or yeah, this party. It was like you at my wedding.
Yes.
Throwing inhibition to the wind.
It was a heck of a party you threw. First and 13 for Joe Milton in the Tennessee offense. Missouri leads La Tech 24-10 as they go to the half in Columbia. Milton delivers that on the outside to Ramel Keaton. Milton again to Keaton. Josh Heupel and the Tennessee coaching staff have done a tremendous job on the recruiting trail, and they've got some high-profile guys coming in next year. I know it's weird to talk about game 1. There's Dylan Sampson, but they've got some talent coming in at the quarterback position, and they've got Joe Milton returning, and these are the types of games, as we've discussed, where he can show the coaching staff what he can do.
Yeah, because when you watch the kid in practice, he's not making mistakes. He's accurate, zips the ball all over, but when the lights turn on, I think he was new in the offense last year as well. Didn't get as many reps as Hendon, obviously, when Hendon took the starting job. So these are valuable for Joe Milton and valuable for this staff to kind of determine what the future looks like beyond Hendon Hooker.
Injured Ball State Cardinal is Jordan Riley Scott. He's been all over the field tonight. And he'll be helped back to the Ball State sideline. Milton able to find Jimmy Holiday, and that'll bring up second down. By the way, we're a little rusty, our first game, but I think that the help we get in the booth, Ray Campbell on stats and Chris Capo's spotting have been nearly perfect.
Oh, yeah. Just kidding, Cap. Greg, even though you didn't come to dinner last night, I forgive you.
Yep. 3rd and short for Tennessee. Milton fires, throws on 3rd and 1, and they pick up the first down. Keaton gets shoved down after the pickup. Senior from Marietta.
So that fastball to the outside, I mean, on these perimeter throws, how quickly can you get it in the hands of the receiver so he has time to make a move, make somebody miss, and Keaton does just that. Oh,
Wow! Here he goes, Jimmy Holiday celebrating early. 53-yard catch and run. A happy Milton, and in September, happy holidays. Joe Milton, 8 of 9 through the air since coming off the bench for Tennessee. It was a 93-yard drive engineered by Milton, converted a 3rd and 1 with a pass and then threw for a touchdown.
yeah, and the little things, right? This is an unprotected dig. What do I mean by that? Nobody holding the safety to the field side, but Milton does a really good job of identifying body language. Here's what I mean, right? You're going to get a dig route right here. This safety doesn't have anybody running with him, but he turns his shoulders and runs that way, and that's when Milton sees the body language and realizes I can hit that comeback right underneath. Again, nobody holding that safety, but Milton does a great job of identifying he's running away, I can throw it right underneath. Those are the things this staff needs to see out of the uber-talented Joe Milton.
(59-7), Tennessee with the lead. Ball State 2 minutes into the 4th quarter. Tom Hart, Jordan Rogers, Cole Kublik down on the field. Toby Wilson now taking over kicking duties for Tennessee, and no chance for a return. Ball State gets Western Michigan next. A couple of days to recover from this one. Same day Tennessee will go to Pittsburgh. Cardinals out of the MAC, based in Muncie, Indiana. Mike Newt played there and now coaches there. They were founded in 1918. All right, here's the tie-in with Tennessee. The famous line from Rocky Top, written in 1967, is they get their corn from a jar. So you think mason jar, right? You ever drink out of a mason jar?
I have.
Indeed. Any red-blooded American has. Mason jars originally manufactured by the Ball Company, and the Ball brothers, originally from Buffalo, New York, relocated to Indiana with the natural gas boom. They founded Ball State University.
Wow.
Named after the jar company. That is the kind of information that you get in a 59-7 game.
How long did it take you to do that?
Well, okay, true story. I went to visit Bob Kessling in the Ball radio booth, and he goes, "What are you going to do in the second half?" I said, "Bob, I have no idea." He goes, "Here's a card. I found some information on Ball State." So take the info any place you can get it.
Wow. We were talking about touchdown thieves earlier.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a nugget vulture.
Wow.
Nice run by Rico Barfield. Cole, what did your investigations turn up?
Well, John Paddock taking over quarterback leadership, not going to be a problem for him. First and foremost, one of the first things he did, according to Haven Fields, the deputy athletic director, was took his entire offensive line to the Hody's Steakhouse there right off campus. But his grandfather, John Wright, played at Illinois, played in the NFL, and has turned into a bit of a leadership speaker after almost 30 years in the financial business. He's been very successful. He's been a part of the NFL Rookie Symposium, where he's gone to speak to the NFL rookies. Then he got together and kind of formed his own situation where he brings people in, has leadership meetings, kind of leadership symposiums on his 80-acre farm just outside of Champaign. Well, Coach Mike News said, "We got this leadership grandfather of one of our players. I'd like you to speak to our team." So team goes out to the farm. They let John Wright speak to him. And the one thing that I heard about this, now this is from Haven Fields, deputy athletic director, my former teammate at Auburn, same signing class. He said, "Cole, you got to ask him about the $1 million cash that he put on the table during the speech."
$1 million?
I'm like, Haven, wait, you're telling me this dude put bricks of cash in front of you? $1 million? He goes, "Cole, just ask him about it." So He's talking about compounding interest and talking about how you have to gain things in life and earning things in life. They're not just given to you for free, but if you build things up over time, obviously it's how you create wealth, how you create good things for yourself over time. Players, the guys who I talked to said it was unbelievable, and it immediately caught their attention, and that's one of the reasons that John said he did it. Now, what they didn't know is the bricks that were wrapped in saran wrap with a $100 bill on the top and a $100 bill on the bottom just had paper in between. So it wasn't exactly $1 million cash that he had on the table. And I asked Mike New about it. I said, did you think it was $1 million cash on the table? He said, absolutely, I did at first. He said, but honestly, I was too distracted by the sword that he brought out. And I thought that was the coolest thing I've ever seen. So I had to go back and ask John Wright again. I said, you didn't mention the sword. What was that? He said, well, you know, that's a pretty cool little deal I got. It was a Russell Crowe's sword and gladiator. I figured I'd break that out and show it to the guys also.
That's General Maximus, Russell Crowe's sword.
I am indeed entertained.
If you're curious, I did a little bit more digging on Russell Crowe's sword. The last time it was sold, it went for 4,000 pounds.
That's it?
That's it.
I would have bought that.
It's almost what Jordan paid for my jersey.
Yeah, I tried to. That's pretty cool, though. If I just had, you know what kind of money, I'd buy stuff like that, too.
If you had sword kind
I'd be
of
like
money.
Nicolas Cage, like buying a T-Rex
Timeout.
skull.
Tennessee, the first of the half.
That guy. There's a national treasure for you.
What a start to this SEC weekend, and it'll continue at noon from Kyle Field. 6th-ranked Texas A&M matches up with Sam Houston State, and then Lane Kiffin's squad will play host to Troy at 4 o'clock Eastern. We'll be in Tuscaloosa at Bryant-Denny Stadium for #1 Alabama against Utah State. Also, same time slot, Georgia State, South Carolina, and a bevy of games coming your way at 7 o'clock Eastern. Let's take a look at the 1996 Auburn football team. I swear this will make sense in just a minute. Where's Cole? There he is, and there's Haven Fields next to him. Fields is in the radio booth with Ball State and Mick Tidrow calling the game here. And Cole, there may have been some confusion with your former teammate's role going into the broadcast today for the Ball State Gamebridge Radio Network.
Yeah, 54 Haven Fields, Deputy Athletic Director for Ball State, one of the best humans you'll ever meet. We were in the same signing class at Auburn. By the way, 55 was in that team photo as well. You'll see him after the game on SEC Network. I'm talking to Haven leading into the game. I said, hey, am I going to see you on the field before the game? We're going to be able to catch up. He said, I don't know, man. I'm supposed to help out. I'll be in the radio booth. We got a new guy doing radio, and I told him I'd help him out, and I'd just be up there with him. You see Haven on your screen there. I said, well, that's cool. Like, what are you going to be doing up there? You know, it's X's and O's, talking about football. You know, they might want me to break down some plays. And I said, so you doing color? No. I'm not. No, I'm just going to be there to help. I'm just helping out. I'm just going to help. If they need me, I'll be there. And, yeah, you guys kind of laid it out because you could see down there. And sounds like he's the only other one in there.
Well, kind of like years ago when I told Chris Capo we only needed help changing the tire on the way to Vandy. He did all the work. Nick Tidrow looks comfortable, and boy, Haven is carrying his load as well. Maybe we'll cut to them in the 4th.
It's hilarious. I mean, the guy lights up for ice cream sandwiches now. I wouldn't be shocked if he has a couple of boxes in his freezer.
I mean, somebody get this man as many ice cream sandwiches as he needs to be able to punt.
Yeah, he had never had them before again, and I think it was probably that's probably one of his favorite foods, not desserts, but foods right now.
I could believe it. It's probably one of my favorite foods, too. It's a food.
We're now outsourcing our storytelling to the Ball State Radio Network, and Cole, I feel like you can tell this story better, especially because we're in the booth and Jordan and I both have ice cream sandwiches. So, you know, go ahead.
Well, you guys just allowed Haven to steal my Lucas Burrows story there when he came over to punt for Ball State from Australia. He had never had an ice cream sandwich, and he told me yesterday that they were awarded for good grades at Ball State by getting ice cream sandwiches, and he basically developed affinity for ice cream.
Oh. No, Cole cut out. His mic cut out while we were eating. Well, do they not have ice cream sandwiches in Australia?
I don't know the answer to that.
Oh.
I didn't ask. I just know he had never had one before. So
have you had one? Should we?
Not today.
We can throw you one
Please.
if you get close.
If you can get one down.
I'm going to be completely honest. This is my second one of the broadcast. I know this is a bit, but I housed one at halftime.
You guys are eating ice cream sandwiches during the game?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Do we have a runner who can bring down to the field? Or?
No.
Come on.
All right.
Well, I appreciate Haven stealing my ammo there, too.
Yeah, it was a
Even
great
though he's the one that gave it to me. So.
I'm going to be done with this thing.
You think former Ray Guy Award winner, what's our guy at Kentucky? Sorry, I'm focused.
Max Duffy.
Think Max Duffy's ever had an ice cream sandwich?
He doesn't look like he eats ice cream sandwiches. No.
It was Jordan. But,
I thought I was done right there,
He calls Jordan out all the time. I'm jealous.
Let's play some football.
If you guys had your pick, you go old school, straight vanilla ice cream sandwich, you go the chocolate, or you go like
vanilla with the chocolate wafer. I don't need all this extra stuff.
You don't go
chocolate
like
chip cookie sandwich.
You don't go PFT Neapolitan ice cream sandwich.
Neapolitan shake I'll do, but no ice cream sandwich.
I gotta have just the OG. That's the only ice cream sandwich I need.
Wow. We should do segments like that more often.
Yeah, we should. Jordan had a birthday shake. He went Nutella.
Hey, by the way, there's a new quarterback in. Oh, now they're punting.
Oh,
we missed that. Ice cream sandwich. We just missed the. I'm going to apologize to Taven Jackson's parents right now. We're going to talk about him, I swear.
Well, meanwhile, Alabama's got a couple Heisman candidates. We'll see them in person Saturday night. What do you got on them? They're pretty good.
Wow. Once you swallow, finish that bite. I mean, Will Anderson was snubbed last year.
I feel like that was the perfect spot for you to say Dallas Turner and Will Anderson are going to be sandwiching a lot of quarterbacks this year. But
ow.
Sorry.
I got a brain freeze, Cole. Things aren't working as quick as they were in the first half. Well, look, I mean, the biggest question mark, I think, for Alabama, Will Anderson's going to, he's going to be a game wrecker. We know that. Bryce Young, a lot of new faces around him. Can he put up those same numbers? I mean, no doubt he can perform at a Heisman level again, but is he going to have the pieces around him to put up those kind of numbers?
Pemberton gets pulled down. Cole, we were at practice last week at Alabama. My takeaway watching Bryce Young is that he just looks so comfortable, like he's in his own skin now. And like this is odd to say about a guy who was comfortable enough to win the Heisman last year. Did you see the same?
I did. I wish Jordan would have been there because, Jordan went to practice with us a few times last year as well and got to see him. But Jay, he's bouncing around. He's tapping guys on the helmet all the time. He's running up and down the field in between plays. He has really taken on that leadership role, in my opinion, and I understand it was a little bit difficult for him last year, first time as a starter, but I think he's gone way above and beyond as sort of anticipating that role, accepting that role, and really flourishing in that role now for that Alabama football team.
Well, it's not necessarily his personality, right? To be extremely outgoing, to get on guys, to be rah-rah at times. He's a very mild-mannered, amazing kid, and so he's learning how to adapt leadership, right? How do you motivate certain guys? You have to be a little more demonstrative and direct with certain guys, and other guys you can be a little more laissez-faire. I mean, the leadership of the quarterback position is so important, and it's an evolution. You don't start out knowing how to do it, and it continues to grow as you evolve, so love to hear that.
You talk about the weapons, though. I agree, and listen, the receiving corps at Alabama, there was going to come a year when it just wasn't better or the same that it was the previous year, and start with Julio Jones, Amari Cooper. It's kind of like, all right, it's not going to get any better. And it's like, wow, here comes Jerry Jeudy. Here comes Henry Ruggs. Here comes Jalen Waddle. It's Devonta Smith wins a Heisman. It felt like it just kept, snowballing and escalating. But this will be the year that maybe it's a little bit different. But I think Jahmyr Gibbs might be the most dangerous back out of the backfield that Nick Saban's had. I think we'll see more two-back. And I think that offensive line, if Eric Wolford, former Kentucky and South Carolina offensive line coach, has done the job that it sounds like he has in the spring and through fall camp, if J.C. Latham comes around at right tackle, Tyler Steen from Vanderbilt fills in at left tackle, they might be a very different offense, even though he doesn't have the same kind of weapons that he had last season.
Ball State, after picking up the first down, trying to run with it against the Tennessee offense, 5.5 minutes to play. Those are some very productive wide receivers that they had to replace, and we saw what happened in the national championship game when guys didn't step into that void.
Yeah, and there was only one dynamic receiver at a time, right? I mean, you needed the other, and that's the question mark. I think Jermaine Burton's going to fit right in. Burton's going to be a star for Alabama. Who's that number 2 guy going to be? JoJo Earle's out 6 to 8 weeks with an injury. Tyler Harrell transfers in from Louisville. He's dynamic, but
straight speed guy. They're also missing Cameron Latu on Saturday night. They're tied in.
Trayshawn Holden and Ja'Cory Brooks are guys that are veterans that are going to play a role, but who's going to be that number 2 dynamic player? Kind of like we were talking about here at Tennessee.
Third down so far tonight. Ball State 5 of 12 on third down. Paddock backpedaling. It's a little bit behind his running back Pemberton that time. Ball State had one really good drive, a lone drive they scored on, but you look at their numbers overall, they're averaging better than 5 yards a play.
Yeah, I think they're going to watch this film, and I think Kevin Lynch and Mike New are going to be really pleased with some of the things that John Paddock did.
Here's Lucas Barrow, the ice cream sandwich loving Aussie.
Actually asked him yesterday when the last time he had one. He said it's been a week or 2. So
unacceptable.
Agreed.
Squirrel White is back to receive.
Timeout.
Do they have squirrels in Australia?
The second of the half.
Tennessee uses a timeout. Looked like White was late to get out there. Well, here's what's next for Tennessee. They've got a Pitt team that is in action right now and tied with West Virginia over on ESPN. And they'll be on the road at Pittsburgh on the 10th. And what's the big one you're getting ready to circle?
Well, I think this is a really big one, but after that first 4 weeks, you got Pitt at Pitt and you got Florida. That's a benchmark right there. That Florida game, the East is kind of wide open behind Georgia, right? Who's going to emerge? Who's going to take a step back? Who's going to take a step forward? We're going to learn a lot about both those teams in a few weeks.
It must mean a lot if you circled it and you underlined it.
Yeah. You know, it's like when you underline and bold something in a Word document, you mean business.
Squirrel White will let that one go out of bounds. We got 4:18 remaining in our evening here in Knoxville, and when we return, put a bow on Cole's night. You got ice cream on your microphone. The Wise Owl said it would take 3 licks to finish a Tootsie Pop, and it only takes 2.5 bites for Cole Cubelic to finish an ice cream sandwich. Go along for a ride on the night of Cole Cubelic's experiences here on Rocky Top. He's been signing autographs. The wide-eyed kids wondering exactly who that man is
and why he's putting a number. He's a grown man that's putting a number on an autograph. It's interesting.
Cole told us that he couldn't remember truly the last time he was signing autographs, and good or bad, we've got one of his former teammates in the studio this season, and after that fumble, look at Takeo Spikes saying, no, Cole, he sent the picture of you guys signing autographs back in your Auburn days.
Yeah, it was, I mean, that was Fan Day, 1996, so same year of the team picture we showed. So, yeah, I mean, I've probably signed 1 or 2 since then. I mean, I did play 5 years of college football after that, so.
Well, that's we've got access to Takeo's phone and all of his pictures now.
It's dangerous.
Here's the fumble happen on the exchange.
That's Taven Jackson in at quarterback, and those are the small things, right? The exchange on a zone play. Got to get that ball all the way in the running back's belly. It's one thing to do it in practice, but in the game, you know, you're a little slower, a little faster, not quite as close as you're meaning to be. A lot of these guys, their first game time experience, are going to have little miscues like that.
John Paddock has thrown it 42 times tonight, 27 of 42, a touchdown and 2 picks. An interception on the first play of the game on a flea flicker. Here's Rico Barfield. He's a St. Louis native out of DeSmet Jesuit. That's the same high school that Tennessee baseball coach Tony Vitello went to, and his dad was a longtime soccer and baseball coach at. Barfield was a great quarterback, running the Wildcat along with the running back duties at DeSmet. He's the 4th different running back who's seen action tonight. To the end zone and through the hands of Ryan Lazan. Ball State has gone for it on a few 4th downs today, and they're going to take the points, and that will matter to some. They will line up for a chip shot field goal with under 3 minutes to play. And Ben Von Guten, transferred in from NAIA Indiana Wesleyan, 2-time NA All-American at Indiana Wesleyan. He was 10 of 12 on field goals last year. This is a 25-yard attempt. And he will punch it through. Overly exciting for many people out there. It's 69 points have been scored in this one. Under 3 minutes to go. What's your takeaway on the night for this Tennessee team?
I think this offense is firing on all cylinders. I think the big question mark coming in was who was going to be the number 2 receiver.
Yeah.
Right. With the departure of Velus Jones, Javonte Payton, their number 2, number 3 guys last year. I think Jalen Hyatt with the touchdown kind of proved that he can be that deep threat that Velus was last year. Brew McCoy had more targets as well, so he's going to be a part of the offense. But that is a crucial role to be opposite of Cedric Tillman and take some attention off.
Wasted no time going to McCoy. He was targeted 5 times, 42 yards in the air. Hyatt's got a touchdown.
Yeah, and the chemistry is going to evolve with McCoy. It's one thing to do it in practice, but we mentioned hasn't played a ton of football over the last couple years. So the chemistry with his quarterback, Hendon Hooker, when to break routes off, a brand new offense, he's going to develop really nicely. Don't expect him to come out here and blow it up week 1. But Jalen Hyatt's a guy that has to take the next step. He's been in this program. He's extremely explosive. His body has changed. He's put on weight. He's got to be the guy.
Coaches have raved about some of the decision making he's making off the field and how that's led to him being a better player on the field. Meanwhile, at the other position, Tillman, the leading receiver tonight. He's the leading returning receiver in the SEC. That position is in good hands. So another opportunity now with still 2:54 to play. Getting deep into the roster now. And that includes number 0, Grant Firking, a millionaire walk-on who has sold every piece of pine straw that you see on Tennessee's campus has been sold by his company. Gaston Moore takes over quarterback. That's a lot of pine straw.
And you were trying to finagle some for your front yard.
I'd like an NIL deal for pine straw.
He told me during the break supply chain issues are going to keep him from getting it to Atlanta, so he apologized.
That is a dang shame. Well, Tennessee will play 4 different quarterbacks tonight. What do you look, if you're Gaston Moore, walk us through what you're looking to accomplish here the last 2.5 minutes.
Don't mess up. Right? I mean, when you're a backup quarterback, if you just execute the plays, right? I mean, get the ball to the running back, get the ball to the check down, just execute the plays. You don't have to make any play.
Or take a shot. You know, like Rick Barnes puts his walk-ons in at the end of a game. You get a touch.
Trust me, if there's a pass play and you know you got man coverage, I mean, you're gonna take your shot. But seriously, as a backup, just don't mess up. Right? You want to be able to operate, and that's what coaches are looking for. A guy that can come in and not make any procedural mistakes. Right? You can live with.
That is a good play, and he's able to find Jack Jancic. Been in this program for a long time, and Jancic takes it in.
And showing some arm strength there. That was a tight window throw. Again, you're okay as a coach with physical mistakes by these guys. It's the mental mistakes that you don't want to see. Great concentration there on the catch as well.
Jack Jancic, third-year sophomore. Brock Jancic was in this program, his older brother as well. And an injured player is Trenton Hatfield for Ball State. Illinois State transfer, but a Muncie native.
Dude, the Sign Shield guys are still grinding. They're just grinding away. I mean, they got to have some boulders for shoulders. You know what I mean? They're just, I mean, you got to, it's like all game, just eyes, Y's, and T's. Just knocking it out.
I think the only guys I've seen working harder tonight are the ball boy guys.
I mean, look at the forearms. I mean, those guys, look at that. Come on now. Tom, we got to get you one of those little signs and get you a little exercise in the hotel room.
Can I travel with that? Put that in the
it folds up.
carry-on. Travel down to Tuscaloosa for the Aggies of Utah State and Alabama. Cole made Nick Saban laugh Wednesday at practice. Hey, we got another quarterback coming in the game. This is Schuler.
Yeah,
Navy Schuler, the son of Heath.
My call sheet is pointless right now. I mean, I got a 3 deep. I don't have an 8 deep.
Patrick Wilk gets a carry. Saban was told that Cole may have missed observation. Oh, that one went right past Schuler, and he will get on it, and he's going to take a hit. And that should be it for this game. To close the book on the Saban story, Cole said, I may have missed it. I was down here watching the offensive line, and Saban laughed. He said, man, I've been coaching for how many years? 40 years. I don't ever go down there and watch O-line individuals. Would I want to watch a duck walk? No, I need action. I need motion.
That's why they don't sign many autographs, Tom. Boring. Not like this game, though.
Well, it looks really impressive on the scoreboard, but you heard Josh Heupel at halftime. He said he wasn't pleased with some of their execution, including his own when it came to clock management. And so I'm curious what we'll have to say in moments to Cole. Hooker looked really good, 18 of 25, and seemed like he made the right decision.
He did, made the right decisions, and more importantly, he just looked comfortable. Comfortable going through his reads, comfortable navigating the pocket.
Just get you down the field. Cole's with Josh Heupel.
Coach, I know you emphasized in fall camp you wanted to play more players. Specifically on defense, you got to play a lot of players across the board tonight. What will that do for your program for the rest of the season?
Yeah, a lot of young guys, both sides of the ball, in particular on the defense, got an opportunity to go out and play and compete. I actually thought our young guys there, late third, early fourth, did a really nice job defensively. There's a lot of good. There's some things we got to clean up, but excited to get a win and start this way.
You're very detail-oriented in your offense, micro details, specifically with the quarterback. We all agreed we thought Hendon Hooker looked a lot more comfortable with his play fakes, getting out of those play fakes, getting the ball out. What did you see from your starting quarterback tonight?
Yeah, in control, smart, decisive, in the run game, in the throw game. I thought he was in complete command of everything. One throw over the middle that he missed, but other than that, really accurate with the football.
Was there one thing you specifically wanted to learn about your team that you're going to be able to take away from it tonight?
The biggest thing to me is just coming out and playing with great effort. If you play harder than your opponent, more times than not, you're going to win. We were able to create some turnovers, take care of the ball for the most part, real sloppy at the end. Thought the end of the first half wasn't clean. End of the ball game wasn't as clean as we want to be. If we're going to be a good football team, you got to be smart in those moments too.
Thank you, Coach.
Appreciate it.
A pretty successful game for Tennessee, their third most points in a season opener since joining the SEC in 1933. We've got more coverage coming your way from Knoxville. 59-10 is the final. Let's get you back to the studio. Dari and the gang.
Okay.